call me up in the middle of the night, 'cause something doesn't feel right. No, we don't need to fight. I'm just trying to have a good time, yeah. Said it's lonely now when you're turning out the light. Said it's harder now to keep sight of everything you like about me. You just wanna have a good life. Torn at the seams, yeah, it's hard to believe that we made it this far. We were born in a dream, we've been lost out at sea, but together we are unbreakable. I called you up in the early morning light, 'cause something didn't sit right. I didn't wanna lie about it, but I stayed out after midnight. I said, I'm sorry, love, I don't ever wanna fight. Said I didn't mean to lose sight of everything you've done here for me, and I wanna share a good life. Torn at the seams, yeah, it's hard to believe that we made it this far. We were born in a dream, we've been lost out at sea, but together we are unbreakable. I'm never gonna let you down. I'm willing and I'm able. I'm never gonna drop the crown. Together we're unbreakable.
Feeling higher than the sky, Gemini. Yeah, we do it every night, every night. Feeling higher than the sky, Gemini. Yeah, we do it every night, every night. Go hard, I don't waste time. Living life in the limelight. Feeling good and the vibes right, you know. Go hard, I don't waste time. Living life in the limelight. Feeling good and the vibes right, you know. I'm never gonna give up. You're never gonna stop me now. I'm never gonna give up. You're never gonna bring me down. Tell me what you want from me. Tell me what you want from me. Tell me what you want from me. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. Go hard, I don't waste time. Living life in the limelight. Feeling good and the vibes right, you know. Go hard, I don't waste time. Living life in the limelight. Feeling good and the vibes right, you know. I'm never gonna give up. You're never gonna stop me now. I'm never gonna give up. You're never gonna bring me down.
I know you're telling me you're leaving, but all I wanna do is hold you now and hear the sound
Africa TV, Freak Up Studio Live. 2020 GSL Super Tournament Season 2.
Welcome back to the GSL Super Tournament number 2 for 2020. I am Artosis, joined by Tasteless. How you doing today, Nick?
Pretty good.
Yeah. This is Highlander. So Gemini cut off Tasteless's head, and here he is. He's casting with me here today. So Tasteless, basically, he's busy, guys, and the wonderful GGE Mini 19 himself has agreed to come in and cast some GSL today. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. This is going to be super fun. First time casting GSL, of course, is going to be, a dream, basically, for me. This is absolutely incredible. Never would have thought I could be here doing this right now, so this is awesome. I'm super hyped. We got some awesome games. We got some awesome players. This is going to be super sick.
Yeah, the stars aligned. Well, most of the way. Trap played on Wednesday, Unfortunately. I know that you would have really preferred that, but we do have Stats playing tonight in the first match. It looks like it could be a good one.
Yeah, pretty much the tied for the first or second place player of Protoss. Basically, Trap and Stats are really basically the two neck and neck right now. So if I can't have Trap, Stats is probably the next best one. So I'm pretty satisfied with that.
I'll always take some Stats casting, no doubt about that. Some other great players here today as well. Of course, Rogue and Maru being two of the big ones, two of the best players in the entire world. Of course, if you are just joining us and you're like, wait a minute, what's this? This isn't GSL Code S. Yeah, it's Super Tournament, man. We have 4 best-of-5s today. It's going to be a long day. There's going to be a lot of great games, and we will be finishing this tournament right up next week. As you can see, our Wednesday night bracket was an insane one. 3 3-2s, and then SOS going DTs against Zest multiple times and just getting free wins. It was an amazing night. Really, there was a lot of great stories in there, too. Like Dark vs. Beyond. Beyond's wrists fell apart, and he went from 2-0 to 0-3. And then, of course, Trap had some keyboard issues, but still was able to overcome Solar. And then you look at tonight's matchup, right? We have Stats vs. Dream, Innovation vs. Armani, Rogue vs. Bunny, and Maru vs. Cure. Any match in particular you're looking forward to?
Obviously the Stats Dream, as I am a Protoss player myself, so I feel like I will connect to that one the most, of course. The Maru vs. Cure game is also going to be absolutely insane, I feel like. Yeah. Maru's TVT is extremely enjoyable to watch. He's probably he's always been my favorite Terran player. So I think he's going to be doing pretty well here. Recently beating Cure in the King of Battles finals as well in October. So I think he'll be in a pretty good spot to do that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that match as well, to be honest. Now, up to our first match, it is going to be Stats against Dream. Of course, Stats has had a pretty good year. He took a little bit of a dip after that year where he basically battled Cyril in the finals of everything and was certainly the #1 Protoss in the world there. But finally, he came back this year, and you can see he got 2nd place in Season 2, top 4 in Season 3. And honestly, he looks amazing right now. His PVT, I would say especially, looks good.
Yeah, his PVT has been pretty good. He had a bit of that little dip during last season or the season before versus TY in the round of 8 or round of 4. But otherwise, his TVT has been really, really solid. The other player, though, that we have, Dream, who has been kind of coming up pretty steadily after coming back from the military about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago or so. He's been doing some pretty good stuff on online tournaments. He's had not the greatest GSL so far this year. He did have a round of 8 in Season 2, which is quite strong. But whether or not he can actually use that to kill Stats here in Super Tournament, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, well, Dream definitely is coming back very strong from the military, one of the stronger players coming back overall. And I gotta say, the matchup of his that has most impressed me would be his TVP, in my opinion. I've watched a ton of Dream games, and he has his own little style, his own flair in Terran vs. Protoss. And I think he brings something a little bit special to the matchup, so I'm excited to see what he can do against Stats.
Yeah, he definitely focuses a lot on drop-heavy play. He's got a bunch of these super YOLO mass drops in the mid-game, like 3, 4, 5 medevacs. Really reminds me of Cure, honestly, from 5 or so years ago, back in like Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
He just goes absolutely ham with these huge Doom drops in the mid game, and it can totally cripple him, cripple his Protoss opponents. He actually played against Stats recently 2 matches in the last like 2 weeks or so in an Holy Mo League and one other place, and one of the ways that he did take down Stats was with one of those big Doom drops in the main on Pillars of Gold, which Stats vetoed this
Well, there you go. Perfect. Makes sense. It's a bit more spread than some of these other maps. Well, map 1 going to be Submarine. A little bit of a surprise there. Let's get into it. Now.
Game start. Afrika Freaks. Stats. Dream.
All right. Dream, unfortunately, no longer having a team right now. Some rough times for some of the players because of that. Of course, he was killing in that team league, the Chinese team league. Oh my God, he was like the MVP of the whole league.
Yeah, he was doing really good. Unfortunately, Bravestar did have to disband, so it's a little bit unfortunate on his end. But hopefully he'll be able to find a new team soon enough. I'm sure he's pretty good, obviously. One of the best Korean Terrans we have over here, so I don't think he'll have too much of a problem. I think, what didn't Special in the Pylon show mention that, or maybe it was a tweet or something, that there was someone that was going to try to rally out the Bravestar guys. Oh no, I saw a tweet about it. Someone else tweeted about it, saying that Dream, Cyan, and some Patience, maybe it was another person.
Okay.
They were going to get rallied together by some other team and get put together.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you know what? I think that Dream is like smart money for the future because basically we have a lot of top players that are going to the military, and honestly, Dream has already shown that he's almost to the level to compete with everyone. Even his round of 8 this year in Season 2, like, he lost because he was against Rogue, who smashed the whole tournament, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you can't fault someone for losing to the champion in the round of 8. That could have been a round of 4 performance from him, to be perfectly honest. And thing is, I've been sold on Dream for a long time now, for a year and a half almost, since he's really been back and playing. He's done so many of the online tournaments. He's taken down just about everyone. He's got a great style. You know, he knows how to keep the pressure on against Protoss. But the one thing that makes me a little bit nervous here, that's almost what Stats wants, is he wants you to attack him. He wants you to try to do big drops against him, because his defensive play is just so strong.
Absolutely. And we can kind of see that here as well. He's going for the battery in the main and then going across with the Adept. This is something he's been doing almost every PvT that I've seen him in the last couple weeks, actually, including versus Dream and those other 2 series that I mentioned. He always goes for this battery in the mineral line, so that way he can send the Adept across without having to rely on Probe Micro back home versus the Reaper. So it's an easy way to do that. Dream, I think, realizes and understands that Stats has been doing this a lot. Doesn't even send the Reaper across.
Yeah,
so he's just going to be defending entirely versus Adept. And so this isn't really going to do too much. It doesn't really ever do that much. It might delay the mining behind the CC for a little bit when the second Adept finally does come in. But Dream kind of doing a little bit of a mind game there to force Stats to waste those 100 minerals in the early game.
Yeah, you know, I love moves like that, to be honest. These little metagame shifts that happen from 2 players that have actually prepped for each other, right? Like the fact that he's kept this at home, he has the bunker ready. Like, what are you going to do? You going to finish that?
Yes.
Well, I guess you're going to finish it, and you're going to get the, you're going to immediately get the Reaper.
Yeah, this is something that's pretty common whenever I see like Stats or Trap or any of these other super high-tier Protoss players do these PvT openers. They love to just sit behind the mineral line, try to deny as many SCVs from mining as possible in the early game, and you can even get these little shave-offs here, getting the Hellion perhaps, getting a Marine or 2, might even actually get that Hellion very close, leaves the Adept to queue in with the 3rd one as well. And what this does, basically, just kind of puts the pressure off of Stats, right? He's going Stargate behind this. He's going to go for the Robo follow-up too, so he's going to be going for his Phoenix Colossus style. But what this does is make it so that, again, he doesn't feel any pressure while going for this. He is full reign. He knows exactly what's going on, and he'll be able to then go in with the Phoenix afterwards to confirm a full scout on the Terran main.
Yeah, I love this style for stats, to be honest. I don't love it for everyone because it can be a little bit tricky to play. You really have to take your positioning very, very seriously. You have to be very careful with when and how you're taking that third base as well. But this type of Phoenix Colossus opening that Stats is showing us here is just like his bread and butter, you know? It's going to allow him to stay alive. It's going to allow him to stop any sort of harassment that's coming out. But we're going to have to see if Dream actually goes for it, because you can already tell, right? Like you said, he kept the Reaper at home. You can tell he's done his homework. So he's going to know that Stats likes this type of play, and we'll see like if he overcommits on the map against his Phoenixes.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, actually, that could still go towards his favor in trying to break someone apart when they go Phoenix. Because the thing with Phoenix is that when you open for them, you have this sense of security with it, right? They're always going to be able to defend drops. You always can rely on them to do so. Stats now going into the main base, getting a little poke, sees that it is a Cyclone Viking follow-up, so he knows he's really not in any threat to get attacked at this moment. So he can be much more aggressive with these Phoenix, trying to pick off whatever he can. Dream's doing a really good job of actually preventing this entirely.
He's beautifully positioned, zoning them out.
Absolutely. And since the person going Phoenix will feel very confident with their Phoenix, they might completely ignore the fact that drops could come in anyway, and then they'll fly in from a different angle, because the Phoenix will have to stay clumped where they are, right? You can't just spread like three Phoenix some way to the other. If they're not all positioned, they will not be able to kill something. So these massive big Doom drops that Dream does love going for in the mid game still can find avenues to get damage done.
Yeah, it definitely is a possibility there. Personally, I feel like the way to play against Phoenixes is to hit your critical mass, right? Phoenixes are so fantastic in the early game, in the early mid game, but there's always a critical mass that comes up where suddenly the Phoenixes don't do nearly as much in a battle, right? They go and they try to pick up a tank or something, but you have so many Marines, you just shoot them out of the sky. And I feel like that's what I want to see out of Dream here. And the thing is, as much as I love Stats, I'm kind of like rooting on Team Dream, because if this is going to be one-sided, it's going to be a Stats victory, and I want a nice long series to start us out here.
Yeah, for sure. I'm feeling the same thing as well. Interestingly enough, I feel like how many Phoenixes Stats actually have right now? 2, 4, 6,
8, I think.
It's 8 or 7. He's going to go into the main base, get a lot of good pickups here. Not even going to lose a single Phoenix for all of this. This is perfect,
really nice.
Perfectly done. Realizing where those units were. Not even getting one on the retreat there either. Very nicely done by Stats to get those nice, easy pickoffs.
Yeah, look at that. Very, very well done. Now, there are Marauders being popped out. There are tanks still being made. And, you know, the Phoenix energy is, like, lower now. I guess that's something that we can say. But I'm looking at this army that is being made by Dream, and I don't think he actually has an attack here, to be honest. Like, he's moving out, and it's submarines, so siege tanks are very good. But, like, is this army actually big enough right now? He has, like, 2 Phoenixes. It's almost... I'd almost rather not have any. I mean, 2 Vikings. I'd almost rather not have any against this many Phoenixes.
Yeah, they're going to be almost useless in this fight, it feels like, unless Stats completely misfires.
Oh my god, wow. I thought actually he might hop on that because his Immortal was leading right there, but does back up.
You really just want to play it super patient with these, because you know that they're super committed on 2 base for now. The third base is mega late from Dream, so you having the third base already set up and already having your transition for charge and +1, you know that you're going to be in a good spot to defend this as long as you just delay as possible. You just want to get as many units out as you can. You really want to pick it where you really can get the best fight possible.
I gotta say, this is very precise control here on both sides. He's not letting even a volley of the Phoenixes hit his Vikings. He's keeping them exactly out of range. Superbly done. Now, here we go. The Phoenixes are gonna come in and dive on top of those Vikings, lifting up the siege tanks as well. He's trying to target down the Phoenixes as quickly as he can. A nice stim there, but it really looks like Stats is gonna plow through everything.
Really nicely done. He was super patient to wait for charge to finish. Without charge finishing for this fight, this might have looked extremely different, actually. Even with that little tight corner with the tanks sieged up on the cliff right there, Stats had all the Phoenix there. Again, the Vikings were not in high enough number to actually negate them, and so it was just free reign. The tanks were not doing anything the whole fight, and now Stats can very easily snowball this ahead, and I don't think Dream has anything here to defend this.
And he doesn't really have a chance anymore. I mean, just the Phoenix play alone is going to crush through him. So that was kind of like what I was talking about, where it didn't feel like he had enough units to move out. That wasn't the critical mass that you need to make the Phoenixes useless.
Yeah.
But you're right? His third base, it was a bit late there. Maybe he felt pressured, like he needed to move out. I feel like he almost just played like the map and not the game. You know what I mean?
I was going to say the exact same thing. It seemed like he had a plan going into this game. He knew, okay, this is the build I'm going to do. I want to do it. This is the push. It's really good. I've won many ladder points with it. Boom, let's do it.
Submarine, it's a great map for a build like that.
Yeah. I mean, the units got picked off in the main base too. That would have been a nice addition to have in there. Any units, of course, is better in that fight. But it really did kind of feel like he was just kind of going with the build. The early game went very well for him. Like, let's be real, the Phoenix barely did much. So, I mean, let's see what happens in game 2.
All right, here we go. Light shade for game number 2.
Start. Africa Freaks. Stats. Dream.
All right. So stats, of course, leading 1-0. Hopefully we can see maybe slightly better decision-making, I guess, from Dream, because I think his zoning was great, as you pointed out again there. I think that his micro was fantastic. Like, just watching the way he utilized, like, the thing is, if you don't have a critical mass of... I'm using this critical mass term a lot, but this is a very important concept when you're playing against Phoenixes specifically in TVP. If you don't have the critical mass of Vikings generally to be able to kill all the Phoenixes and the Colossi, or to suicide them on the Colossi and get the Colossi before the Phoenixes can kill your Vikings, if you don't have that, generally it's better to just not have any.
Yeah.
Like, you don't... Like, what's worse than one muta in your army, right? It's garbage. It's nothing. And that, it could have looked like that, but his micro was very good. He continued to reinforce. So I feel like Dream is playing well. It's just basically like we were talking about, right? It's like, okay, this is a great build for the map. In this exact situation, is this a good move? It didn't feel like it.
Yeah. And I think if we had seen that same exact defense on a different map, we would have had a much different game, because a lot of times on the slightly bigger maps, Dream has been going for a lot of fast third CCs. In general, a lot of Terran play has kind of seen that recently versus Protoss. They get relatively faster third CCs than we've seen in the last couple of months. And with the strong defense that he had in the early game versus Phoenix, had he been going for a 3CC build, I think he would have been in a much better spot to then propel that more into the mid game and play that more mass unit style that you're talking about.
Yeah, and, well, I think that that's always an alright choice as well against Phoenixes, right? Phoenixes want to battle at small supplies. That's that's the thing. Yeah. You know, it's basically, you know, this is a concept that I talk about so much in GSL casts and StarCraft 2 casts because it comes up so much. It's the concept of scaling, right? Like, Adepts want to fight earlier in the game. You don't want maxed armies with Adepts in them. Same with Roaches, right? Like, Roaches are great early on. Yeah, he comes and sees that same shield batter again.
He barely missed the Stargate. It was like a pixel off.
But yeah, this type of idea is such an important one, such a valuable one to follow.
Adept comes in here. I don't think he'll be able to see exactly what's in the main base because the Reaper is coming back in mode 2.
Perfect little shade out.
I like it. I like it. I mean, I'm kind of curious that Stats is going for a Stargate again, actually.
Do you think it'll be Phoenix?
Yes, I think it's going to be the exact same thing, which kind of does lend more towards Stats. You know, he's a very, if it's not broke, don't fix it player.
He
you know?
is, you're right.
He will bring out the same thing every time in a series if it works well. And yeah, there's the Phoenix this time. However, the interesting thing that I find from this is that I keep bringing up these last couple series since they literally happened like within the last week.
Yeah,
They literally just played each other. Stats was going for a lot of Blink openers versus Dream. He mixed in like a Stargate once per series basically, but he was predominantly going Blink. Whereas this game, it seems like it's almost going to be the opposite, where he's predominantly going Stargate, maybe gets a Blink in there somewhere or whatever, and then boom, the Reaper gets killed by those 3 Adepts. Will he be able to shade through? Ooh, we might do that. That's a bit of a debate. Oh, wow. I'm amazed that mine did not get off.
I know, right? It really felt like he was going to get a hit there. But some nice micro here from Stats. Does have that shade about to finish. I'm sure he'll let it.
Oh, my God.
I think he lost one there just in the end. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, but, I mean, some really solid harassment overall. Look at that. Peels off 3 Marines and the Reaper. I'm going to go ahead and retreat with these couple of them. Now, we do have Phoenixes on the way, the Robotech coming up. It looks like the exact same build. Dream having a little bit of a hiccup there, we see. The rally being blocked by his raised depot.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, okay, there we go. There's that third CC. All right, let's see exactly what happens this time, because we're playing exactly the same situation where Stats is going for Phoenix into Colossus.
Yes.
And then, just like I was saying, if Dream had gone for 3CC, I feel like it would have been a much different game that we saw. So he's going for the Viking as well, because this is just the kind of the standard defensive setup you have as Terran early game. I don't think he went for a Cyclone this time, so it's slightly different, but I do want to see what happens with this fast third CC and how this game actually progresses.
Yeah, it's actually really exciting to see because, well, we don't know what his plans were coming in, right? I feel like we actually do know what Stats' plans were coming in so far. And it felt like game one was definitely a map plan for Dream, but here, like maybe he was already going to do this, but this fits the situation better than the previous game. There's just not even a question about that.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
It's just like, yeah, I mean, if you see Phoenixes just... Do you remember when it was Phoenix versus Phoenix in PvP?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that you would just make Nexuses?
Yes.
And you know what happens when you go Phoenix harassment against Zerg? You make a hatchery.
Yes.
And the same thing applies here. It's just the Phoenixes can't kill buildings, so you may as well just expand your supply.
Yeah, I was even going to mention it before that, yeah, whenever I'm playing versus Phoenix, even non-Phoenix, like not Phoenix versus Phoenix, whenever I'm playing against Phoenix in PvP, the thing that you want to do is just expand it to your third as fast as possible and just spam out probes because they can't do anything otherwise. This is a bit of an overextension, I would say. He gets 3 SCVs for that, but I think he lost a Phoenix or 2. He loses 1. Did get a mine with that, it looks like, too. So actually,
I think it was worth.
Yeah, not that bad.
It was worth. And honestly, this is something that you would want to do in this type of situation. Did he see the third command?
I don't know.
He flew far enough in that there looked like things were missing, so he might have a good idea of it. But like, let's say that he knows that there's a third command. You would want to dive a little bit more because you don't need these on the defense.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like even if you lose 1 or 2, Dream cannot move out.
Yeah. I don't think he knows about the third CC yet, because if he did, I would imagine the second forge being going down right now.
Yeah, he started the second forge.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that is the second forge. Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't see the +1 note. Good. All right, yeah, so I think he does know. Yeah, he should be fully aware. Ooh, even get some Marines here. Does not get them picked up into the medevac quite in time.
Yes,
oh, might even get the medevac. Oh, man. That would be cool. Whenever I see those like tiny little like pickoffs, I love those. It's so crisp whenever they can do their Phoenix control that well.
Well, he's doing some good harassment overall. You definitely got to hand him that. Dream over here, he is macroing well. He's getting his upgrades. Everything seems to be going pretty much according to plan. What do you think about the distinct lack of missile turrets? I guess he's now getting them. Maybe he just wanted to power up into his production before spending on turrets. But what do you think about that? I almost feel like maybe he could have gotten them earlier when you start counting how much he's actually lost in the price of that.
Yeah, I feel like he was kind of taking not the worst losses ever. Like these are not the hugest trades that we've seen so far. I feel like he might have just said like, all right, whatever. Like, this is going well enough that I don't feel like I need to sink 1 million turrets into this right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know exactly, to be honest. We have the Ghost Academy coming up now too pretty quickly, which is. I'm curious what you think about that, because we're going into Colossus in the mid game. I know EMP is good. I know the new Shockwave upgrade is still pretty strong, and Terrans do like it a lot. Yeah. However, he is continuing Viking production as well, so I guess it's totally fine. But
I think it's solid actually. And the thing is, it's also stylistic. Dream always goes Ghost. Like he really does like to get Ghosts out relatively early in this matchup. But don't forget, it works very well against the clump of Phoenixes as well, right? True. You get rid of all their lift power, so now your tanks are safe, and they're just going to die a lot quicker now with that EMP. So no, I think it's pretty solid, even though you don't think of it as a good first counter against Colossus.
Yeah. Something else that I did also just remember is that I saw Stats doing a really big Archon transition, actually. With this composition, he gets a ton of Archons.
Yeah, and he is doing that,
Yeah, and it definitely, EMP is absolutely wonderful against Archons, considering they're literally all shields. So I'm sure that is possibly in his mind as well. He's really trying to posture in the middle of the map here. He's trying to find a good spot to siege up his tanks and get into a good foothold here, because Interestingly enough, I actually just saw them play this exact map in this same situation where Dream was trying to push down into that third, fourth base location, and Stats just had the most gargantuan arc.
Yeah.
And he just funneled in, and it was not even close.
He's setting it up. Like, you can see Stats getting this nice line of units ready for the engagement. And that is scary. I love Stats' play overall here strategically. But look at this. Dream maneuvering around. He needs to hit these EMPs. These are going to be very important. Okay, a very good EMP goes down. Another one hits some of the Phoenixes there. Still a lot of health on those Archons. They are really helping to tank right through this. The Vikings trying to target things down, but not really helping in this army. A lot of Marauders left over, and he actually forces Stats back for now.
Yeah, there wasn't enough charge lots after the fact. They all kind of funneled in right at the beginning. There was no flank or anything like that, so a lot of the bio actually stood pretty strong there, and he did able to push him back a little bit. Dream doesn't feel overly confident to really try to break it home because he really doesn't have any answer to the Colossus, because a lot of the Vikings did die to those Phoenix. So he definitely does. I don't think he should be trying to push him mega hard right now. I think that's a good trade you can take and then kind of just extrapolate it onto later into the game.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you on that. I think he does need a bit of reinforcements to be able to engage again. I do like how Marauder heavy his army is right now. That's definitely going to help in the future. Has a couple tanks in here. Actually catches the DTs as they walk across. That's a big moment for a lot of reasons, like knowing that your opponent is now thinking about harassing you with DTs.
Yeah, and it's always the worst feeling in the world when you send them all out. You shift-click them all like, okay, you go to the space, you go to the base stage. Yeah, hooray, we're going to kill the Terran's economy. And then they all die to one scan in the middle of the map. You're just like, oh, of course you're sitting right there. Wonderful.
Yeah, why are you there? Why is he there? I totally know that feeling. But look at this. A DT is going to wiggle his way past. He's going to go right up into the main base. Doesn't even care. His bullets start to hit his shields. And, oh, that's going to be annoying. Look at how annoying that is. But hold on. Stats actually starting to attack here. I don't know if this is the best attack, but it seems like he may have caught him off guard slightly. Big kiting going on right now from Dream as he goes back. Stats still a very strong army. More EMPs going off, and another group of Zealots coming up, but it seems like Dream has enough.
This is going to be really close. There is the upgrade advantage for Stats. He's got 2-2 over 1-1, and with the War Prism here to continue reinforcing, I think he can really pile this home. That DT was definitely distracting in the main base while this is happening. Really good by Stats to capitalize on that and go for a double-pronged attack. The DT's still there.
Brutal.
It's still there, and we got more Warpins coming in onto the natural of Dream, and his supply is just absolutely in the dumpster. GG Stats coming up with a quick 2-0.
I wish we had seen the very first seconds of that engagement, because you're right, there was like the DT going into the main base, which brought his attention away, I think, because it seems to me like Dream should have been able to hold that a little bit better. But it seems like a lot of damage was done like instantaneously on it. I think Stats caught him off guard with that attack, which makes that a brilliant tactical play.
Yeah, it's the best feeling in the world, after losing all your DTs in the middle of the map, to then just get that one tiny one to sneak by and then couple it with the main army attacking at the same time. They literally cannot look at both places at once. You're going to get damaged somewhere, and that is exactly what happened at the end of that fight.
Beautifully done from Stats. You know, I think that Dream is playing some pretty good StarCraft, but Stats definitely a top 2 Protoss in the world right now, so maybe even top 1.
I won't take that bait.
All right, we're going to go into map number 3. It's going to be Oxide. We'll see if Dream can start a comeback. Let's go.
Game start. Afrika Freaks. Stats. Dream.
All right. Oxide. I haven't seen that many TVPs here yet. What is your feeling about the map for this matchup?
I think it's pretty good. I like this map in general as a Protoss player. Especially for Zerg, it feels pretty good with how much force fielding you can do. Blink Colossus styles are really strong in this map. Versus Terran, it's pretty similar. I think there's some decent drop potential into the main base with the little bit of dead space going into there, so that could be a little bit annoying. But otherwise, it feels pretty good to control the map for this matchup specifically. I think what I've found interesting. I don't know if this is just because I watch primarily trap games and he does the same stuff over and over again, but I see a lot of DT play on this map actually. He either proxies a Dark Shrine or you do this. There's this build where you cut probes and like 1 or 2 units out of the gateway just a little bit to get a faster robo, so you can do a fast drop with the DTs. Stats doesn't want to hear me talk about this. He's going for a proxy gateway. This is something he also used versus Dream in one of the series recently on Romanticide it was, and he completely caught Dream off guard because, you know, Stats is not this person that usually goes for these plays, right? Stats is the defensive macro player. We always call him that. When you always say specifically, if he pulls these kinds of tricks into his repertoire, he would be like the best Protoss in the world or something like that. Like, you always go for this. And it's actually a Stargate.
Yeah. But no, I do like to see it. This is definitely something that Stats needs to do to be the absolute best at this point. Now, a Reaper's going to come down and probably find this pretty quickly. That's not going to really stop the Oracle from getting out, and we'll see how Stats deals with this type of situation. Okay, he sees exactly what it is, gives it one shot to say hello, and backs up.
This is Void Ray.
You think it's going to be Void Ray?
He's on 1 base. He didn't expand. If this
right,
is,
I want it to be.
If it's an Oracle, if it's a proxy Stargate Oracle into expand, that would be so strange.
It could be Oracle into Tempest.
There it is.
Oh, it is a Void Ray. Good call.
Okay, interesting. I have not seen him do this recently, so this is pretty cool.
No.
The fact that it was scouted so early and that it is Void Ray is massive, actually, for Dream. We really need to see if he understands that, because I think he thinks it's Oracle.
Yeah, I mean, when you first see that, that is what you're going to end up thinking. But did he get, like, does he have anything out there to recheck the natural? No. So he doesn't know until
he doesn't have bunkers
in.
set up. He doesn't have.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's just putting it down. He now knows that it is Void Ray, of course, and it is going to come in, get that 1 tap on the injured SCV. Nice. Marines will be able to push it away for now. Oh, or will it? Says, the Adepts get in too because there's no wall off.
He's in some serious trouble now. Oh my God, nothing even shoots up. He's got to wait for that Cyclone. This is getting brutal. Can't finish the bunker.
Oh my God.
There's going to be a second Void Ray in a second here too.
He can't even mine at the nat. I mean, he shouldn't really be mining at the nat at this point. I feel like he needs to kind of bunker up at this. Like he's got no way to defend us at this point.
And look at this. Second Void Ray. Phoenix, and he is going a Nexus. So this isn't as all-in as a lot of these that we see. We don't see a bunch of proxy, batteries or anything like that for healing up. Kind of interesting, his take on this.
This is actually something that Hearthstone used. Oh, nice lift to barely keep that Void Ray alive, denying the Cyclone lock-on, and that is just that. Oh
wow,
my goodness.
That was brutal.
Wow.
Well, like we were talking about, if this was going to be a quick series, it was going to go 3-0 to Stats. Yeah. I don't think that Dream played particularly badly, but well, Stats is just, I mean, he's the best Protoss out there, right? So what can you really do as Dream?
Yeah.
A tough matchup for him here.
Absolutely. Something that that build that we were just watching there is pretty cool because Hearthstone did try something a little similar to this versus Maru actually in Asus ROG. And you go for the Phoenix afterwards to deny those Cyclone liftoffs, lock-ons and stuff like that. You lift them up in the air. It's really good versus that, and then you can just expand behind it. You're not overly committing. You're not getting the extra pylons or batteries close to their natural, so you're not really worried about that. Those resources go to the natural, so you can then expand, and then it's a basically less committed, dedicated pressure.
Yeah. Very. I like the wording of that. You remind me of No Regret right now.
Yep.
All right. So that is our first match. Stats going to move forward. Up next, Innovation versus Armani after this quick commercial break.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
이상한데? 그렇게 작아. 너무 안 보이는데? 보이지가 않잖아. 쓸 수가 아니, 너 키워보라고.
성능을 17대화면으로 언제 어디서나 더 크게 즐기다. WQXGA 초고화 질의 17대화면 16:10 최적의 화면비. 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준 LG 울트라 기어.
라면이요.
자, 이게 좀만 들어주세요.
나왔습니다.
잠깐만 들어주세요. 빨리 나와요 이거.
음료 나왔습니다.
From the beginning.
상큼한 복숭아가 사이다를 더 청량하게. 새로움을 마시다.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
Africa TV, Free Cup Studio Live. 2020 GSL Super Tournament Season 2.
All right, so we just had stats kind of demolish Dream 3-0. It just kind of looked like a series that one player was better than the other.
Yeah. I feel like Dream had a good couple ideas coming in. Stats, too good.
Yeah.
Bopped them away.
It was like a round of 16 guy against a round of 4 guy is what it felt like.
Yeah.
And that's like pretty much what it was.
I was really kind of hoping that second game on Lightshade would really kind of go the distance with the full macro game, going back and forth with the huge position swings and stuff like that, because they are Dream and Stats had a pretty good game with that earlier this week, so I was kind of excited for that. But not the case. We have Innovation and Armani as our next match. What are we thinking?
Well, I mean, I think it's actually going to be a pretty good one. Look at these stats for Innovation this year. Actually, I wasn't quite clear that his worst finish has been a round of 8. That's not bad. I mean, it's not Innovation good, but like it's still a very solid year that he's having. But he doesn't feel like the unstoppable Innovation that he felt like for a really long time. He's still very good, one of the best Terrans in the world, no doubt. But Armani has come a long way in the past year. He's really become one of these high-level Zerg players that you can count on for some really high-quality games.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of feeling a pretty good series here. Like, I could see this 3-2 either way.
I feel the same thing, honestly. Like, just look at that story, honestly. Like, going from round of 24, 16, 24, 24, and then rocket boosting straight into the round of 4.
And his play still looks good, too. It doesn't feel like a fluke is, I think, the main takeaway from this. Because you look at his other results and you're like, okay, something weird happened. And, like, I guess I agree in some regard, but a lot of times when someone flukes into the top 4, they, you know, you keep watching their play and you're like, yeah, no, this is not going to keep up.
Yeah.
With Armani, I almost feel like, yeah, I mean, if it continues like he's playing now, round of 8 next season, in my opinion, you know?
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Innovation struggling a little bit in ZVT recently as well. He really has he literally has a 50% win rate in the last couple weeks, last couple months. So not his best matchup currently. Still looks insane because he's Innovation, obviously. But Armani, someone who's been doing a lot of stuff in ZVT recently, going 2-4 versus Maru in the semis of GSL last season, beating Cure in the in the round of 16 or round of 24, one of those.
16.
So his ZVT is definitely very strong, and we could definitely see some very awesome stuff from him this series, definitely.
Yeah, I hope we do. First map, gonna be Death Aura. Let's get into it.
Game start. KaiZ Gaming. Innovation. Africa Freaks. Armani.
Inno's in like full cozy mode. He's got his old jacket on and everything. He's just like getting set in for the long run right now.
Dream was playing in his jacket as well. Those big puffy jackets, I don't know about playing in those, you know.
It's pretty. They're cozy, man. They're really comfortable.
They're comfy, but I mean, don't they? They screw up your movement of your arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're one of those guys that doesn't really use their full arm to move their mouse anyway, I feel like it almost kind of like, it's like one of those like those weighted blankets or whatever. You know what they?
Oh yeah.
How it just kind of just like confines you in where you are and just makes you feel nice and solid where you're at.
Oh.
I never actually use them when I don't play with a jacket, so I don't know exactly.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've tried everything, but I move my arm a lot when I play. You think the Innovation doesn't really use his arm? Is he just a wrist guy?
I don't know. I literally looked over to try and see if I can tell, and I just realized that I'm actually so far away I can't see at all.
Yeah. I would say we have the best seats in the house, but we don't. Well, I mean, if he's playing with the jacket on, I guess he's fine with it. All right, we'll see here. It looks like just a Reaper expansion, pretty standard from Armani on the other side. Is going to be starting Zergling speed pretty soon here, I would imagine.
Something interesting that I learned from my good friend Foxer. If any of you NA Heroes ladder over on the NA server, you will know this man. Gave me some Terran pointers, some Terran tips about some recent build orders and stuff like that. Apparently, Inno was going for...
Did any of them have an additional command center? Because you said he plays on NA, so I'm just like wondering.
What did I just miss? What meme did I just miss?
Well, he plays on NA, so he's a cheeser, basically. Oh. Anyway, no, please continue.
So
never mind. I'm not as fresh with the memes as you.
I am not Dave Bautista, so that one went straight over my head. So, yeah, he's been going a lot of the fast drilling claw opener. I think that's the Cure build. People are calling that. Cure did that recently, and they're calling it his build. Maybe that's incorrect, but Innovation apparently did that versus DRG and Asus a lot. He did it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I have not seen him do it versus Armani, so I'm curious to see if he will bring something out like that this series. But for now, it seems like he's going totally normal. I actually lost the Reaper, but he is going totally normal 3cc behind this with Hellions coming out. So it's looking to be like a total normal game. Armani will likely be going straight into double Evo, Baneling Nest, and Muta. That's his bread and butter as well. So.
Well, that's the way to do it right now, in my opinion, for this matchup.
Yep.
But about the Drilling Claw opener that you mentioned, you mentioned you did it against DRG and Aces. Basically, that's the build against DRG. You've never seen anyone like DRG is one of the best Zergs in the world. His ZVT is unreal, but I've never seen anyone so bad at dealing with Widowmine harassment in my entire life. I can't even really, actually, I've never seen anyone lose that much at the pro level. It is insanity. And then he'll still beat you, but, it's really good against him specifically. So I don't know if Innovation would go for that here against Armani, who's going to be able to clean it up a lot easier than DRG.
Didn't DRG not play at all during Heart of the Swarm? Didn't he leave when Wings Liberty, or was he still?
No, he was still around. Okay. He was actually the very last non-Kespa player in GSL at one point.
Really?
It was 31 Kespa pros, which included players like Maru who joined Kespa teams, which wasn't too many, by the way, still. But and DRG, that was a very proud moment I felt, where I'm like, yeah, the old guard is gone. It's only DRG fighting back. Yeah. Anyways, DRG did not make it into Super Tournament this time, so we'll be quiet.
God, we love DRG.
Yeah, he's great. I love that guy. Okay, so a lot of Hellions coming over right now. He does have Banshees on the way. Cloak going to be finishing up here as well as the second Banshee.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that he is going for Cloak this game. A lot of times you'll see a Liberator Viking follow-up to just try and help deny creep to get some sort of map control with the Hellions as well, but the Banshee kind of does that plus more, right? It's really trying to get some good extra drone damage in there. And if you, I mean, some players will have a Hellbat transition with that too. You go for the Cloak Banshee Hellbat pushes. Not as common recently, but it seems like he's just going to go for the Banshee Harass, try to get some damage somewhere. I don't know where those Banshees actually are. I haven't seen one.
He's being pretty laid back with them, I guess. We don't really see him pushing forward too quickly. One thing I find slightly interesting here is, like, this is very, very quick baneling speed. I actually thought he would start his 1-1 before baneling speed instead of after, but just kind of an interesting thing here. I wonder exactly why he's chosen to get that so quickly.
Not really sure, to be honest. But the 2 Banshees are going to come in. This feels like a PvT move where, like, you wait for the 2, even though you know it's been scouted, and then all of a sudden there's 2 and they're one-shotting your drones. You're like, oh my god, I thought I had this defended 100%. They're going to get in 3 drones, try to get a couple more here. But there's a lot of queens here to push this back. This 4 has been in position. Inno's doing a really good job of picking off some of these exterior drones on the mineral patches, not really losing any damage on his Banshees too. It's going to now go into the natural because the queens did not rally forward back over here. Holy moly.
Yeah, this is serious, serious damage right now. Look at this. Already 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 kills. Are you kidding me?
What? Oh, he's going to lose
both
both
who even cares?
I don't care at all because,
oh my
holy
God.
jeez.
If he had a button to kill him himself, he should have done it just to style on him. 19 kills with those 2 Banshees.
I wish the Banshees had the Oracle dance animation where it's like a disco ball. Like he would have just done that over top the natural and then just suicided them. That was insane amount of damage. You usually do not see that much damage out of 2 Banshees in a TVZ in this stage of the game. Innovation is going to follow that up with a push to try and deny a 3rd base. 7 at 7:30 is usually when these pushes do tend to happen, and after that start, he's going to really try to push this home. Will it be able to do so? I don't know.
Look, it was great damage, but baneling speed's already done. I don't think he's going to end up losing all that much here. He's trying to come in from the other side with the Hellions. The Queen's already there to zone that out. Of course, he's backed up the Medivacs for now. The Spire's going to be finishing up, which is going to make it a little bit harder to get any drop in this. Oh, that was a good move.
Wow.
Got to hand it to him there. Beautiful surround, killing off all of the Hellions. Now the Marines running up as well. He's removed a lot of creep tumors, which is definitely very useful, but overall, no more real damage to Armani.
Something that I did just notice as well is that Innovation did cut tanks from this entirely. I don't think he has a single tank on the field. So usually those pushes will have some tanks with them to try and really push down the 4th, but Innovation does not have them. He went full on into the Widow Mines afterwards, and going into Drilling Claws now too. 2-2 is going to be queuing up basically at the same time as Armani, so there's not going to be any upgrade advantages or disadvantages there. Lots of Marines here to deny this Ling counterattack, which at the most might kill or cancel this 4th base, which is actually pretty annoying, but looks like, oh, even a reinforcing flank of Marines is going to be able to completely save this.
Yeah, nice defense there overall. I do actually like the choice to forego the tanks. I think it didn't work out all that well this game because the extra Hellions that he made in that possible tank build time didn't actually end up doing anything, but, you know, what can you do? Looks like he goes ahead with the drop here. Does get one off that kills a lot. Brings up another group of Marine Medevac over here, but looks like it does get chased away pretty quickly.
Pretty good mine connections, but, I mean, it's kind of hard to... Oh, no! Wow.
2.5 mutas go down immediately. Stims and runs right up into this 4th base area.
He's really peering on a knife's edge. I feel like this encapsulates Armani's EVT so much. The Lings are going to try to come in, get a nice surround, but they actually get a nice baneling hit at the end there. But now on the left side, the Marines are coming in, gets another couple good baneling hits, loads up, runs away, and Armani is hemorrhaging units pretty decently, I'd say. Whereas Innovation kind of has the momentum here to keep reinforcing this. He can live with that, I'd say.
Innovation is playing a beautiful game here. The fact that his 4th base is up and his army supply is twice that of the Ling Bane player, like, you have to be feeling pretty good about where you're at. Now, they are both going to finish up 2-2, so like you mentioned before, no big advantage there. But Innovation is in control of this game, make no mistake.
Something that is very interesting that I'm curious if we will start to see with this swing over here as he kills off these right side units Whenever Armani is losing a ZVT, he will just go full-on base trade and just counterattack with all of his units. Massive amounts of Ling Mutif counterattacks, and it sometimes, a lot of times actually, does just completely swing the game in his favor, and he's able to then take a seemingly losing game and put it all into the... Oh my god, those Baneling shots, or the Widowmine shots got a ton there. But the fights can just completely swing to his favor, even though he's losing the entire game before that. But Innovation's doing a good job of denying that. We saw that earlier on that 4th base cancel attempt, and Armani has not really been able to find any of those positions and opportunities this game.
Yeah, you see, right now, it's like every time Armani fights, yeah, he keeps his mutas alive, but he's spending like all of his Ling Bane. He is trying to get up to the Hive, which definitely can help him to get some longer-term equity in these battles. But Innovation is just getting stronger and stronger. 3-3 is already on the way. Armani trying to do a little bit of some counter-harassment here, bring some Lings and Mutas across the map, but pretty good deflection so far from Innovation.
He's really not being able to find much here. The Marines and Mines are going to come down to the 3rd base once again. Armani does have some stuff prepared. There's really not that many Banelings here, though, so that's really what you kind of need to defend these. A couple medevacs do get picked off. That's quite nice. Some Lings trying to get some surrounds. The Widowmines get some decent shots off, and there's really not too much here to defend from Armani at this point. He really needs to get everything together. The Mutas are coming back in now, but everything's kind of just trickling in one at a time. There's really nothing here to buffer for these Banelings. Inno's not even splitting for this.
Wow.
He disrespects it that much, and he is just going to stomp this 3rd base to a win. Excellent done. Excellently done by Inno.
You know what that looked like? That looked like Innovation versus Armani, but maybe last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was some pretty dominating performance from Innovation. I guess the stacking of the 2 Banshees kind of caught Armani off guard a little bit.
It's the TVP move. You don't you scout it. You're like, oh, I'm so prepared. I'm so prepared for these Banshees. I saw it immediately. Oh, they're not going to do anything. And then they just wait. And there's 2 all of a sudden that show up, and you're just like, oh my gosh.
Armani's Queen movement was not really very good there. He was not retreating drones. 19 drones lost, and then Innovation just immaculate multitasking, hitting on both sides. Armani just didn't have a chance to come back.
I really want to see what happens in a game where those 2019 drones don't die.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks very different from what we just saw.
Hopefully that'll happen this time. Or if you're an Inno fan, hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it does happen again.
Well, you want to see him at least fight for what he's getting, right? You want to see it.
Game start.
Maybe.
KaiZ Gaming. Innovation. Afrika Freaks. Armani.
Inno's face just looks so like, just like, I'm happy with what just happened right there. He looks so contempt. Oh my gosh.
He's sometimes it's hard to read him, but the slight changes and smirks. I think we've all watched Innovation long enough that we know.
Oh goodness.
We know the thoughts in the head.
It is kind of interesting though, because you say that some players or some people, some fans would want to watch him at least try to put up a fight against the other player or whatever. And I feel like there's the other fans that will just be like, no, I want my player to stomp everything and not look defeated in any way possible.
Yeah, those fans definitely do exist. I know exactly the ones you're talking about.
He's sitting right next to you.
We call it, that's true. And then I was going to say we call them Flash fans, because that's generally how his games go. But I mean, I would like to see a game in which Armani does not take critical losses right off the bat, because anytime you see that, it's kind of like, I mean, he took some very good engagements. His defense was pretty good overall, but Innovation just like Tasteless always likes to say it's a game of numbers, right, or a game of math, where it's like, yeah, I know he just Innovation like expanded just right. He blocked all the harassment that came in, and then he had too many units, and that was it. And like you said, he did not even micro back against the final group of Banes. He's just like, no, you have to leave. That's it.
Complete disrespect at the end. Just like, yep, I have the numbers have been crunched in my head. I've calculated it. I have won. Get out.
Those Banelings will just barely not touch my Marines.
Oh my goodness.
Whereas I'm sure if you see a charmer like Beyond, he'll be microing against one Baneling with his whole army.
But my fans, I must show them I can do it still. My wrist, it's not hurting me, I promise.
Indeed. Now, a little bit, I mean, it's a Reaper expand, so we got to see this Reaper damage these things. It's really important.
Oh boy. We're going to get the Reddit analysis again of how many times this did anything. Oh, we almost didn't. Oh, he did lose
one, got one.
Oh my gosh. Is he going to get a second?
No, he's not.
He's going to lose the Reaper.
Fool.
He's going to lose the Reaper.
This is a round of 4, Zerg.
So oh yeah, Innovation's a round of 8 Terran apparently this year.
Yeah, apparently.
That's why he just lost that.
A guy with 3 championships is calling a round of 8 Terran. That's fair. All right, so it's a quick third command. This is Innovation's like bread and butter TVZ build. Yep. Reactored Hellions with 3 command centers. He loves it. He does it so often. What is that building you just put on Starport? So actually seeing the Starport, you know that there's a third command as well.
Yeah.
So Armani got all the info that he really needs.
Do you think Inno's going to pull out a BC build?
Oh gosh.
I know those are super. I know those are super like out of flavor now.
Yeah, I haven't seen one in a while actually. No, I don't think we'll see it from him. I mean, this is the last GSL of the year. Well, I guess we're in December, so it doesn't mean like all that much. But you know, I don't really foresee him doing something like that. I think that would be something that Armani would not really have that hard of a time dealing with.
Kind of want to see it though.
I mean, I love BC openers. They're fun. It's fun to see the Terran tech all the way to literally the last unit in the game and then harass with it for the whole game.
Yeah, like
there's something feels very wrong about it, but
just
very right as well.
The game theory behind the actual build itself just feels very funny whenever I watch it. It's like, is this really supposed to be happening? But I guess it is.
Just the fact that it teleports. It's like It's like, yeah, it is supposed to be happening because it literally can just jump away. It's amazing. The only way that this can be bad is if you buy too many and your opponent hard counters them. So it's like, okay, so I won't buy too many. I'm like, you got it. There you go.
You figured it out.
Yeah.
We got a close Banshee opener, by the way.
It's kind of funny, actually, now that I think about it. It's like the BC is a unit that's so good that the only way it becomes bad is if you make too many of them. Because it's, like, expensive, you know? It takes too much time to put all that money in.
It's like, what would happen if we could make multiple motherships? I'm sure there'd be someone that'd be baited into trying to make like
minus
2 or 3.
800.
Yeah. Roddy's over there having an absolute aneurysm watching all these motherships die. Hellions gonna try to come in, get a. I think did they get a creep tumor maybe? If that, anything at all.
That's it.
Not really too much. Lings are gonna come in, corner a couple Marines. Their lives are flashing before their minds. Oh my gosh, terrible. The Banshee's gonna help out. Amazing commentary.
Fantastic. A lot of Lings being popped out right now to help deal with those Hellions. Some good queen movement around the map. Of course, we have the Spire starting up here. And definitely a different focus from Armani this game, right? We don't see the Evos yet. We don't see Baneling Speed. Last game, he went Baneling Speed, Evos, Spire. The Spire was quite a bit later. Here, it's Spire first, and we'll see where he goes from there. A lot of gases on the way.
Want to see how many mutas he actually does make. Here come the double Banshees. Last time they got 19 drones. What is going to happen this time? Armani is a little bit more prepared. He had that Overlord scouting, seeing it, gets one on the rally. Queen actually might die here. Yeah, gets it picked off right there, gets another drone. The Queens are in a much better position to kind of corner these Banshees and prevent them from getting the massive damage last time, but they're still getting some good picks.
Damage. Does Innovation just know everyone's weakness? He's like, yeah, this guy can't beat Banshees, this guy can't beat Mines.
Ooh, that was a nice save right there.
Yeah.
Like those.
Look at this, still 7 kills. Still 7 kills. Sees the exact timing of the Spire, that's very useful.
Loses 1, but how can you complain when you've killed 9 drones and a... Oh,
and
we're
counting,
gonna keep more.
counting. He's still getting him. Look at that, 11 drones? And he got a queen.
And he's gonna run out.
Oh! Yeah, he's dead, okay. Dang it. Okay, so 11 drones and a queen this time. And it's a fast 3 command center build. Like, you have to be very happy with that harassment.
Absolutely.
Armani, on the other hand, this almost feels like the 2-hatch build, but with 3-hatch. You know, where it's like Muta, and now here's the Baneling Speed, and your upgrades are literally going to be 2 behind for the entire game. That's which is what we normally see with the 2-hat Muta, but this is a 3-hat build, so even though he lost the 11 drones, the way he's playing it makes me feel like he might still be able to fight back a bit better than last game.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do here. The Banelings and Lings going in for the surround. Hellions are going to be able to soak up a decent amount. The Mines didn't really get many good connections on the back end, so Armani with a pretty decent first defense here. Let's see where he can go with this and what kind of damage he can now get done with these Mutas, what kind of map control he can take with the creep, and where he can go into the mid game from here.
And the Armory just finished up here for Innovation, so he's going to go into Drilling Claws. Certainly 2-2 is going to start. Armani's 1-1 just starting as well, so you can definitely see a really big difference is going to open up as far as those upgrades go. But these mutas, this is kind of like Armani's hopes and dreams. They're tied up in these mutas, and unfortunately for him, they're being chased away.
Oh no, these 2 mines.
Oh no.
What? Luckily, that the second one somehow did not go off, so he only lost 1.
Is that a German Shepherd?
I think it.
Is that a bloodhound? What type of dog is that?
We've been deteriorated to casting critters, in-game critters, just trying to figure out what they are. The ones that you will always kill every game in your Brood War games, aren't? Isn't that right? I've just learned this apparently.
Gotta get rid of them, man. Clean that map.
Someone called PETA.
So, I mean, it feels like he's trying to be active with these mutas, but Innovation is doing a really good job. The mines are spread in such a way. He's having a hard time doing anything. Look, he might chase him into the mine.
Oh, not
just barely not.
Oh, the Overseer gets picked off. That's actually really annoying, because now we can't find the Widow Mines on the middle of the field and trying to pick them off. So these mutas really have not been able to do anything after that initial defensive push. Innovation's up like 40 supply all of a sudden. Yeah. And I mean, Armani, he's getting his 4th base set up. He's got his Creep Tumor getting denied once again at that 4th base. Actually getting a couple Widow Mines here before the fight happens is quite good. Lifts these Marines over away, but now we have to see if he can defend the stuff on the left side as well.
Innovation, it feels like, yeah, not every move is perfect here, but overall, oh my god, the mines hitting the mutas there as well. It feels like overall that he is just really playing better than Armani here. I'm getting really nervous for our Zerg.
Yeah, this is... If the series continues this way, I'm assuming a second 3-0. But hopefully Armani has pulled games back, series back. Here we go again with one of his super swingy Mass Ling Muta counterattacks. Good bottleneck from Innovation on the supply depot. Going to really prevent a lot of this from happening and to give him enough time to get his reinforcements back over. And this was absolutely not the damage that Armani was looking for. Although on the back end, these Lings actually did get into the 3rd base. Suddenly, 18 SCVs are getting killed off. 19.
Yeah.
And so, actually, not the worst damage. Did lose a lot for it, though.
Yeah, I think overall you can look at that attack and say it was good for Armani, but was it good enough in this type of situation where he's already taken a bunch of damage?
Yeah.
That's the real question, I guess. Now, Innovation pushing up. He is trying to hit this 4th base. Oh my god, a lot of Ling Bane rolling forward. Innovation trying to get back a couple connections. Armani's, it seems like he's going to save the hatchery for now, but Innovation's positioning is really hard to deal with.
Yeah, instead of tanks being chucked up in the corner, we got a whole bunch of Marines and mines doing it. So there's just like almost nothing for Armani here to really engage with. He really needs to get a split off on that left side so he can come from behind, but there's not enough creep spread for him to do that in an efficient manner, and he's just continuously going back and forth on this, trying to save this 4th base. But now he's finally going over to the left side a little bit to try and get a bit of a flank, or even just doing another counterattack, it seems like. Like I said, if he's in trouble, he goes across the map, tries to find something. Inno is fully prepared again, and all of a sudden, he's lost his 4th base for basically nothing.
Yeah, and in fact, he got whittled down there a bit as well, so very painful stuff. Innovation up a couple of upgrades, controlling the map. There's good creep spread in front of the rest of the bases, so it's not going to be as easy for Innovation to kill the next one. But Armani, it doesn't feel like he's building towards a victory. It feels like he's just trying to stay alive.
Yeah, absolutely. This whole game after that first push and then the Muta's not finding any damage, it's really felt just him trying to outlast whatever he can. He's going to try to get in here before the mines are fully boarded, but the speed burrow does go down. Plenty of Widow Mine shots blanketing all of those Banes and Lings. Once again, the Marines getting pulled back. Marauders soaking up a good amount. A couple of the Banelings barely getting through.
Hey, all right. Well, those Baneling connections were pretty good. That means the Mutas can clean up a really lot of these Marauders. It looks like the Medivacs, for the most part, are going to get away. He'll pick off a few. Finally, Armani has a really good engagement there.
And that is what he's been looking for the last, like, 6 minutes, 7 minutes or so.
Yeah.
He's been trying to find that one big sweep. Is it too late, is my question. I feel like this came a little bit too late for him after losing that 4th base. He did have the 5th already set up, which is really good for him. His drone count really hasn't been affected. So can he get another swing here? The big mine shot getting off on that giant clump of Ling Bane. This has kind of been the story of this game, I feel like. Only once or twice has he actually gotten some good connections with them. A lot of Marauders soaking up those as well. The Mutas have been staying alive for these last couple fights, which is pretty good. And now there's actually not too many Marines left over. Can he actually dislodge this?
You know, even if he holds on here, like, I guess if he gets all the medevacs, it starts to become real good. But just the reinforcements of innovation coming up. Look at this. More mines, more Marines. And you can see Armani's, the Ling Bane he's fighting with is getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah. It's very apparent. The amount of red is quickly dwindling, although he is kind of capitalizing on this. He's getting a pretty good good catch here. Mines are going to burrow again. Actually kills both of them before either of them go off, so that actually was not too bad either. But again, he's just going to leave. Oh,
yeah,
well, there you go.
Yeah. He was just not having enough units come out at once. Innovation keeping that creep back. Just beautiful play from Innovation, I have to say. I can't believe his Banshees did that much 2 games in a row.
Yeah, seriously.
That was really surprising and impressive. And Armani's build overall just felt a little bit strange to me because it really looked like the 2-hat muta that's very popular. Maybe he's trying to play around with against the fast third command center to do like the 2-hat idea with 3-hat. That's my idea of what maybe he's thinking about there. But unfortunately for him, like you pointed out in the game, he didn't get anything done with the mutas. They weren't able to dictate anything for Innovation. And when you can't do that, being down upgrades is not going to help you out.
It must be so frustrating knowing that the Banshees get so much damage done, and then you're trying to do the same with the mutas, and then it's just completely on top of it as well. It's just like the most demoralizing feeling ever.
You're making way more flying units and getting way less done with it. It's sad. All right, let's go. Game number 3.
KaiZ Gaming. Innovation. Afrika Freaks. Armani.
All right, I'm hoping that Armani can pull something together here and give us a longer series. If we just have 3-0s all day, will you have really even casted GSL?
Might as well just not have existed.
I know.
It's like I just got here and I'm
life
not
is
doing anything.
meaningless.
What is life if I can't cast full 5-game best of 5s?
Yeah, we had so many epic ones the other night.
Oh, I know. I'm the curse. I'm the GSL curse. Bring me in here. We got some terrible games. I got nothing to do here.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing some one-sided domination so far. Some really great play out of our big-name players. The up-and-comers that are challenging them. Not faring quite as well.
Armani has had some series in GSL recently where he does end up behind at the beginning, but ends up pulling it back. So, not completely counting him out, but those first 2 games didn't exactly look convincing, to say the least.
Well, I mean, when you're opening up, losing a gigantic chunk of your economy to 2 Banshees, that's never good. I wonder if Innovation's just going to do exactly the same thing.
I was literally about to ask, do you think he does it again?
He might.
Oh,
I mean, you can't blame him. If he does something else and it doesn't work, then suddenly you feel stupid for not doing the same thing, right? Like,
yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like if I would have killed 30 drones between 4 Banshees in 2 games, I'd be thinking to myself, he's really going to block Banshee this time, you know?
And that's when you do it again, so that way they definitely don't expect it.
Play right into it. He's like, I don't know, I'm just playing this like it's a ladder.
It's the ultra alpha move. You know they're going to be super prepared for it, you just do it anyway, and you still kill 30 drones.
My God. That's bringing me back to Wings of Liberty right there.
My absolute Achilles heel throughout the entirety of Wings was 2 Port Cloak Banshee. Does not matter.
2 Port Cloak, yeah.
Yes. Does not matter how good or bad the player was. I would have always lost that build. Yeah. Even if there was someone that's,
that build
diamond or plat, and I'm sitting here in Masters, I'm like, oh, okay, I got this easy. And then he's ringing his base with turrets, and there's 2 Port Banshees that I can't see in his base. I lost every time.
Yeah, no, it actually, people were so bad in Wings of Liberty. That was 100% true. I actually, because I was a Zerg player in Wings, and so was Hydra, and I literally didn't play any Terran. And I'm like, here, let me play with Terran. And so I went 2 Port Cloaked Banshee against him and killed him with it, and he was not too happy. But it's like it was the most skillless, easy way to win games back then.
You have just really... I feel so much better about everything that happened in those few games that I would play. Oh, that's great. Same build. Inno going for the same 3cc. Hellion. Reaper's trying to get in here. Not going to see too much. It gets thwarted. Let's try to see. Will that Banshee come up?
I'm starting to think it will. And Innovation is known for oftentimes kind of going on autopilot and doing the same thing over and over. We do see a tech lab being made. I'm sure that's right near the starport. So yeah.
Oh, the wing gets in. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Like you said, though, you can see it coming. It does that.
This is the alpha move is being set up. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna lower the depot. Let him scout me.
Just give him vision for the whole game.
Exactly.
It's like you shouldn't get cloak then Innovation. That doesn't make sense.
Oh my goodness. All right, Banshee's coming out. There's the cloak.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I want to see how many. What's the bet? How many drones do you think he's gonna get? Ooh, that was a nice little.
All right, here's
pop over. I like that.
Let's see. You got 19, then 11.
Yeah.
He's gonna get
and a queen.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I have to adjust. I think he won't get a queen this time. I'm going to say he's going to get still 7 drones.
I'm going to go for 10.
10 drones.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. So that's almost the same as last time.
Yes, 10 minus the queen. I don't think he gets a queen either. Or he gets like a queen and like 3 drones.
This is a really weird thing to bet on, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm there with you. No queen, yeah. Definitely no queen. Why do we think no queen?
For no real reason.
Yeah.
This is something that I do it. Wait, what?
Okay. It's an Armani. So
okay.
like, I think this is going to be something else.
Oh, he might do the he might do a Banshee Hellbat push now.
Yeah.
So he might switch it up a little bit, or.
No, I think that's what it is.
There's nothing else it could be,
Look at how
right?
many Hellions he's making.
Yeah.
It's definitely Hellbat Banshee. And, like, it's even more obvious to us because there's only 2 Hellions running around.
Oh, yeah.
This is how you
That's
try
true.
to bamboozle them.
Well,
it's like, oh, it's only 2. Like, I guess maybe it's mines. Like, you know?
Armani's going to see the extra Hellions now. He sees 4 of them, which is not really abnormal because Inno still the last 2 games did go for like 6 to 8 Hellions anyway, didn't they? So I don't think he's really going to be thinking about it too much. He's got 3 drones in production, 6 slings, that's it. Gets 2 extra gases. More drones just got queued up. I'm feeling a little frightful for Armani right now.
Yeah. His Baneling Nest is a little bit
drones.
later this time. 4 queens here. Ooh. Okay, he's bringing the Spore. That's not really the most helpful. We got to have some really great micro here for sure. Oh, the Banshee's coming in from behind, and that is a lot of Hellbats. That is very, very, very many.
Oh my god, the Banshees behind are not getting dealt with whatsoever. Both of them are still fully alive. The Queens now getting bottlenecked back into the Nat. We'll try to focus a few of them down, but then they just end up getting killed by the Hellbats in front of them because there's literally nothing else here. Everything else is in production, and it's full lings. There's not even a single Baneling on the production tab, and Innovation is completely ransacking it. 3-0.
Wow, a massacre. And Armani showing 3 different openers there. Innovation showing 2. That third game, he kind of made it look similar to the other 2 games, but then had those Hellbats. You can see he's quite happy with himself. Goes on to that round of 8 once again, keeping that record alive for the year. His worst finishes so far this year in that round of 8. Armani, unfortunately, just kind of not good enough in the early game defense, which is, I feel slightly surprised because I feel like he really has upped his game overall in the last few months. But there it kind of, like, you could have shown me this game last year, and I'd be like, Armani got a super tournament, nice. You know, and I'd be like, yeah, no, this is how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I hope that maybe this was a fluke, and next GSL season, next year, he does a bit better.
Yep.
That being said, we are going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, Rogue against Buddy.
used to hearing the sound of silence. Your lips have been silent. When did you get filled with doubt? Don't go thinking love is lost. We don't have to watch it fall. We can put back together our hearts, yeah. Don't be scared to take my hand. So much we can't understand, but we can understand that. Thinking love is lost. We don't have to watch it fall. We can put back together our hearts, yeah. Don't be scared to take my hand. So much we can't understand, but we can understand that.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
이상한데? 그렇게 작아. 너무 보이는데? 보이지가 않잖아. 쓸 수가 없는데? 아니, 저 키워보라고.
성능 17대화면으로 언제 어디서나 더 크게 즐기다. WQXGA 초고화 질의 17대화면 16:10 최적의 화면비. 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준 LG 울트라 기어.
라면이요.
이게
나왔습니다.
잠깐만 들어주세요. 빨리 나와요 이거.
음료 나왔습니다.
From the beginning.
상큼한 복숭아가 사이다를 더 청량하게. 새로움을 마시다.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
싱그러운 청귤이 사이다를 더 청량하게. 새로움을 마시다.
성능을 대용량 배터리로 언제 어디서나 더 오래 즐기다. 72Wh 대용량 배터리, 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준, LG 울트라 기어. 듀얼 메모리, 듀얼 저장 장치. 고성능을 듀얼 업그레이드로 더 오랜 기간 즐기다.
야, 우리 진짜 한 판만 더 이기면 돼.
야, 그럼 나 화장실 좀 갔다 올게.
야, 어디가?
금방. 자, 이 정도.
20여 명의 학생들이 컴퓨터 게임에 몰입하고 있는 또 다른 PC방. PC방의 전원을 꺼보겠습니다.
From the beginning.
고고! 핫식스!
거기 들어와. 그 밑에 걔 잡고. 나이스. 됐어.
아, 미안해, 로우나. 화났어?
미안해. 내가 해줄게.
아, 잠깐, 내가 누르면 안 돼. 아, 누르면 안 돼, 지금. 아, 잠깐. 경쾌하게 무슨 소리야?
좋은 시간 되세요.
From the beginning.
고고! 핫식스!
성능을 언제 어디서나 가볍게 즐기다. 지포스 GTX 1650 그래픽 최신 인텔 10세대 프로세서 탑재. 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준, LG 울트라 기어.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
Africa TV, Freak Up Studio Live. 2020 GSL Super Tournament Season 2.
Show me how to slow down, 'cause I've been going too fast for my own good now. So I'm hoping I could see the
All right. It's got a great shot of that beautiful trophy that someone's going to be taking home. Super Tournament, one word, don't forget it. Stats 3-0 Dream, Innovation 3-0 Armani. I mean, if there was going to be a 3-0 today, I thought it might be Rogue Bunny, but yeah, I'm hoping that we get a a longer match here or something back and forth. We're not just like, I don't know, we lost too much.
I mean, the last game or the last series was like Banshees. It was just Banshees, and that's it. I hope this series we can see more than just some Banshees.
I think we will definitely see more than Banshees. The styles of all the players here, very, very different. Rogue with a fresh haircut here, as
crisp.
well as a fresh team being part of Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Obviously, Rogue a killer. He already won I Am Katowice this year. Overall, the year has been good to him as well. Another GSL, of course, where it was probably the worst finals we ever had in burst stats.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy
It was
that
an Inca level finals.
I'm pretty happy that the absolute worst final before that of Trap versus Rogue from last year gets surpassed by Rogue versus Stats.
Rogue versus Trap was much better than Rogue versus Stats.
Yes,
yeah, much better.
Not was it much better?
Twice to 3 times better.
I would like
Rogue
to...
Stats was like, it it was like a tease when the all-in didn't work for Stats to get a game. I'm like, oh no, Stats, just GGing out. This is it's too painful. And then the final game, the way it went down, it was like, oh God, just stop it.
The Lings getting in on, and it's on Everdream too, which is like the meme map for that build too, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was awful.
Well, all that being said, you know, Rogue obviously is a favorite of every single tournament he enters. He's going up against Bunny, who so Bunny, he has times where he plays really well, and he's getting more of those now. So that makes me very happy. But overall, and he's just like kind of missing something about his play that is keeping him from that level, you know? Because there's the 4 horsemen, and there's always like one guy right below them. It was Gumiho for a long time. Now it's Cure, I would say. And, you know, we have some other guys that are really good that are still coming up, and, you know, strong Terran players. Bunny has never been to that, right? He's never even been like a top 6 Terran, I would say, in Korea.
Yeah, there's like 1 or 2 seasons like last year where he looked like he might be be picking that up. He had some pretty strong performances. This year's been a little bit disappointing out of him. I really thought he was going to be similar to Armani in how Armani kind of started to really do well at towards the mid and end of this year. But kind of didn't really happen. He's just kind of been sitting in the same mid tier. It's round of 16, round of 24s. Which is kind of unfortunate. I want to see more of him. I think he definitely has the ability to do it.
Yeah, he's like a really cool, nice guy and stuff. So I want to see him do well. But I feel like he needs to like complete his play. It's like he's missing a piece of the Triforce or something like that. You know, and he needs to solve that.
We don't know what it is
to
either.
move on. Yeah, no, I'm not even. Maybe it's courage.
He needs some sort of confidence. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah. All right, Death Aura going to be our first map. Let's get into it.
Now.
Game start.
Damn, you're good.
Oh, that's why they paid me the big bucks.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Rogue. Team NV. Bunny.
All right.
Nice.
Some great new teammates for that. Yeah, this is hilarious because literally this is what we were talking about before the show.
Yes. I'm strapped in. I'm ready.
This is so fun because, like, guys,
so far away
we were
too.
talking about the matches like before the whole show started. And it was like, what do you think about Rogue Bunny? And we were both like, I think there's gonna be a lot of proxies. I think it's gonna be really cheesy and probably the fastest series day. Now I don't know if it's gonna be the fastest, but already,
it's
3 proxy racks.
Who did this? I was literally just watching last night. I think it was it was the same exact map too, but reversed positions. He did the same thing. He did proxy 3 racks.
4 racks.
4
my friend.
racks.
4 racks. This is so silly.
Am I watching M. Canning off-race Terran right now? That's literally what he does. His build is proxy 4 racks.
Didn't you hear that this build beat Cyril one time?
Did it?
Yeah, it did. It was,
someone call Reddit.
Look, the proxy 4 racks, but like it's hard to even call it proxy. Right? It could be in his main. It would only be slightly further away. But, you know, you put it this far out so that the Overlord can't find it. It's going to be a lot of Marines. He has to win with it right away. Now, Rogue, of course, longtime teammate of Maru, so he's probably one of the best proxy defenders out there. But this is the type of proxy where if it catches you just right, there's nothing that can be done.
Absolutely not. I love how he's staggered it, too. He's got 2 on the bottom, 2 at the top. So if the Overlord even did come to scout, maybe it sees the first 2 and then does the thing where it backs up to make it so they don't know that you scouted it.
Yeah,
and then he doesn't get the full scout on the 4,
That's
and
cute.
then that could end up biting him in the butt later. He hasn't seen it at all. He has not seen a single barracks. That's why it is, you know, so he's like, prepare for the Reaper?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like, I'll
Rogue.
catch that Reaper. That Reaper's
You thought.
minced meat.
Oh, the
base.
third. The Korean casters go crazy about it. I love
This
it.
is hilarious how long you wait with this build. Look at this.
Dude, M. Canning could literally be winning this game right now in the same position.
Yeah.
He does the same thing. Although
Except
he puts it a little too close, so I think he needs. This is going to be a really inspirational game for him. Now the Lynx sees it finally. No real reaction from Rogue that we saw. He just cancels the 3rd base, and then what's going to happen?
Pull the drones, make some spines. Yeah, I think this is about it. You give him the natural. You can't hold it. You can't. So if you can't hold something, don't try to hold it.
Yeah.
That's a really good lesson for people.
That's the first thing you should do if you want to lose the game is to
if you try to hold that natural, that's 100%.
You're literally going to lose.
This is 90% death.
Yeah.
So it's a much higher percent play here for Rogue.
Oh, he didn't.
What?
Kill that.
Just go kill it. What's he doing?
He's microing some Marines versus some Lings. Give him some slack.
Okay, he gets a spine up. He gets a second spine up. He has queens. Huh. 16 Lings and speed on the way. You know what?
Uh-oh.
He might end up holding this.
Here come the Lings, but then they back up again. Marine's going to try to stutter step, get that spine. If they can get that, that would be awesome. Drones being pulled off the line. There's some more reinforcement. Marines from the bottom. Ooh. Getting a nice drone drill through all of them. Oh my god.
Good drill.
Absolutely killing the first wave of those Marines. Getting a surround on them as well. Rogue did not see this coming whatsoever. Speed is finished. Lings are being rallied out onto those injured Marines. Spines now securing the front natural door.
Well, that was a dominating hold by Rogue. That's it. You don't come back from this one, Bunny. Like, look at this. He's on 13 SCVs.
He's going to pull the next wave.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing he can do here is make more Marines. But Rogue,
oh my God,
Rogue has Zergling speed, you know?
Orbital.
Oh, he's making it.
He's flying them back.
He's flying them back. What is he going to do?
M. Canning's furiously writing notes down. Be like, okay, I can transition if it doesn't work. I know it. Okay.
Well,
there is a dream.
You say that. Put the pen and paper away. There is, like, what could... Okay, in theory, what do you transition to here? He's making a command center. That... Dude, it's just like, look, it's 13 workers against 20. Rogue has 2 hatches. He has static D. He's
going to get the Overlord. He's getting debated. Here come the Lings. Will he be able to get... Oh, this is actually not that great for Rogue. No, he's going to kill everything anyway.
Honestly, I feel like everything Rogue does is great for Rogue at this point. Just because...
That was like the worst possible thing that could have ever possibly happened, maybe. He lost a decent amount, but he also killed literally like 80% of the Marines.
Yeah. I don't know what you're supposed to do here as Bunny. It's like you need your opponent to mess up in several ways. Like the economy of Rogue is just going to explode from here, right?
Yeah.
He has his 3rd hatch on the way. He's droning like mad. The command center's not done. He's got 3 Raxes, but like that's, you know, as long as you're spreading your creep and watching for when he's moving out, it's not like he can surprise you with anything.
Roachborn's getting put down as the kind of... Actually, what do you think this is? Is this the I'm not gonna lose to whatever you're gonna follow up with, or is this the I am now going to kill you with Roach Ravager?
This is a choose your own adventure of win, so it can be either one. But I think Rogue, like, he's got 2 gases, so I mean, make a medium amount of roaches and go across the map, I think is fine. The thing is, even if he were to do something that we might consider like close to all in, it wouldn't be because he's got so many, so many more workers. You know, it's like, yeah, you can spend everything on roaches for a while.
Can you even all in from this position? Is it possible? If like it becomes. Like
I mean, you could pull your drones, but that would just be rude, right? Like that.
It's more rude than innovation. Microing back against those Banemans. But here come the roaches. They are in production. 11 of them. Pretty solid amount.
That's a lot of roaches. So
the Marines are going on the other side.
Yeah, he's trying to be sneaky and catch him, but there's units being made. Like, I guess if Rogue only made drones, like only made drones, this Marine attack would actually be great.
Oh, it's so barely just not missed or timed properly. Like, if this was maybe 3 seconds later, the roaches would have been about like halfway through the map, but now they're just here. And
GG.
Bada bing, bada boom.
All right, so proxy 4-Rax. Well, somewhat proxy 4-Rax. 4-Rax in the corner of the map. 4-Rax where you would build your Twilight in a PvP. Right?
That's so true.
Yeah, that's oh my god. That's how I can tell
if
it's going to be a Twilight.
That's literally where I put it on that map.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, there you have it. I mean, what can we say? Rogue had no idea. He had 0 clue it was coming and reacted like that. I always feel like it's a extra risky move to try to cheese him with proxy play because he's had to play with Maru so much, who's the best in the world at that by miles.
So what does Bunny's actual game look like? That's what we want to know. Because if you're going to tell me he's going to bring that out again
no.
in the same series, no, absolutely not. So let's see what he's got. We're going into game number 2, Light Shade. Let's see what happens. Right.
Game start. Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Rogue. Team NV. Bunny.
He's got like a Jade on like killer face going.
Yeah,
there.
he does, doesn't he? That's a good catch there. He does have that kind of pissed face. Well, maybe he should be after that game.
I'd be so tilted after that. Be like, I didn't get scouted at all. Exactly the plan that you want to have happen happens, and then you just lose.
Yeah, he actually, I think the misplay that I saw that was really big, right, was Rogue like sent some lings that came out of his second hatchery to catch reinforcements, and Bunny was microing like 3 Marines against like 2 lings. This was before the spines were done. Like, I think he needed to fully press and force all the fighting to happen right then.
Yeah.
Because once the spines finished, that gave Rogue a lot more options. Obviously, he's building more lings the entire time. So I think there was like a... I think that was a terrible choice from Bunny on what to do there. Like, his execution of it was off. That makes me feel like he hasn't practiced it that much, to be honest. Because I feel like once you practice that a lot at a high level, you're going to figure out pretty quickly that, like, oh, against spines, I need to just push it.
Yeah. Could also just be one of those moments where, like, you know what you have to do, and then you barely make the tiniest little... You're like, oh, I can go deal with this. This will be really quick. And then, you know, go do it, and then it's, like, it's like 1 microsecond longer of attention you wanted to give to it, and all of a sudden it messes everything else up. Like, I've had that happen so many times where you're just like, oh, I know how to do with this. Okay, I do it in this way. I make this thing here, or I micro this thing in this way. This will take this amount of time. I know I can do that. And it doesn't go exactly how you want it because of whatever reason, and all of a sudden it makes the other thing get completely messed up too. So, yeah, really unfortunate by him. Definitely, again, we're not seeing that again. We are not seeing that build again, 100%. Drone gets bopped over to the side. And here we are in the most standard looking... Ooh, gets a link.
Yeah.
Standard looking TVZ.
Indeed. By the way, that made me think of something. That little micro move he did in the previous game against those. Do you remember back, maybe it was just during the beta, or maybe it was when Wings of Liberty first came out, but units that were rallied were on attack move at one point in the game.
Really?
Yes.
In beta?
Yeah, it must have been beta. I don't think it went to release like that. But when they literally on rally, they were on attack move. Zerg was...
I'm like vaguely
Zerg was having fun with that.
This. That's interesting.
It was just making me think that would make these barracks plays a lot better. Imagine that. You wouldn't even need F2. You just right-click your barracks where you want to attack.
People complain about Zerg being F2 all the time now. Imagine if that wasn't the case. If that was the case now, holy moly.
Yeah. All right, so have this third command center build from Bunny. Going for some Hellions.
What is your favorite thing from Wings Beta? Because I have a lot.
Wings Beta.
Notably, one supply
Queen's
roaches.
having full speed off creep.
Oh, look at that. That was great.
That was something else.
I loved ones.
There was nothing like playing ZVZ back then. Oh my god, it was just queens and roaches running across the map.
You want to know what a different one, actually? When Zealots were like 23 seconds of production or something like that. So every PvP was just 2-gate Zealot versus 2-gate Zealot.
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
That was always fun.
Good times. Oh, okay. Banliness coming out right now.
I was going to say, that seems like kind of early, right?
Yes,
There's no Evos at all right now, is there?
You know what I think he's doing? I don't think this is aggressive. I think he's making the Baneley nest because he's like, okay, this kid is going to do a hell battle.
Yeah, because I was just going to say, there's a medevac in production, there's extra Marines.
And there's an armory.
Yeah, there's the armory coming up.
Wow. He read that pretty damn well.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, when someone goes for 4 barracks in the corner of the map to try to kill you and it doesn't work.
What's the next
Honestly,
possible thing they can do?
Yeah, what's the next? What can you do after that you haven't already done? You've already signaled to your opponent that he's better than you. From there, I mean, this is something I talk about a lot. I don't like Hellbat all-ins. I think that they are garbo.
They're not good.
They almost
right now.
never work. We just saw Innovation get one that worked. Great. Thank you for pointing that out, everybody. But it almost never works to the pro level. So, like, he's ready for it. He's got 5 Banelings making.
9. He's got even more.
Yeah,
he's got a whole bunch of
even
queens
more.
in production. The Lings are going to try to get a little bit of a surround. Not really enough there to do that so far, but we'll see how this goes. The Banelings are finished. Good split so far from Bunny, actually. That's actually really nice. But
that was amazing.
Here comes the second wave. We'll be able to get
Yeah,
nothing.
but when you're splitting like that,
Wow.
to be honest, like he still had some Banelings connect, and that gives him extra time with his queens to get more damage on everything. So you see he stomps this down, and this doesn't actually transition that well, you know? This is not like an all-in. I guess we shouldn't really call it an all-in, but
dedicated
he
pressure.
needed more than that. He needed more than that.
Yeah. See what the Liberator can do. I was about to say it could do what he needs to get some extra damage done, but it just kind of sits on creep for a second and then walks back. That's a little unfortunate. He was missing that one there. Probably putting the third base over with the orbital here. Ling will deny it for a little bit. That's always annoying. But yeah, there's not too much in terms of extra pushing power you can do with this. He did save some of the units, which is good. He didn't kind of just like walk them all in and just suicide them for nothing when he realized it was gonna fail. So that's always good to at least save whatever you have that did not get the full damage done. But that was an extremely good read out of Rogue, and he did defend it quite well, even with Bunny's pretty good micro in the actual fight itself.
Well, Bunny, you know, he does have that third command center mining. He has the 1-1 on the way, just slightly ahead of the 1-1 of Rogue. So these are good things, right? He's sending some units around the map. He's getting some intel. He's trying to get damage. It doesn't seem like he's actually going to get any damage with the Liberator or the Viking. But, you know, he's crossing his T's. He's dotting his I's. He's trying to pull something together here. But look at the creep spread of Rogue, right? Look how dastardly this creep spread is already.
Wow.
And part of the reasoning of this is you spent everything you had in the early game on that Hellbat push. It didn't do anything, so he hasn't been able to deny any creep yet, which is gonna echo throughout the game.
Liberators tries to get in here after trying a couple times before and then just absolutely does nothing whatsoever. The Queens were well prepared. Marine's going to try and get some creep since they were not able to do so before. It gets a little bit... Ooh, these Banelings might be able to sneak on down from the bottom. But how did that split off like that? That was weird. Oh! Oh, wait, I forgot. This is TVZ. They don't one-shot. Ha, ha, ha. Or ZVP.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have +2 anyways. Who cares?
It would have if it was a ZVP at this time.
Not quite, but I understand emotionally what you're saying, yes. All right, he's actually getting Burrow right now. That's kind of a cute move from Rogue.
I've seen him do this a lot, actually. The couple games I've seen him that he plays ZVT, he actually consistently gets this Burrow, which is really cool. I do like it as well. Watching Burrowed Banes go throughout the map is super fun. Absolutely love it.
You know, we've been saying it since literally the game came out that this has to be an evolutionary step of the game. And we saw it actually become really popular a couple years ago, but we haven't seen it as much since, which is kind of weird. Yeah, this is some pretty good stuff going on for Rogue right now. Cleans up all the harassment that's coming near him.
Oh no, all the injured SCVs, the alley-oop from before. Actually,
no, don't target the tanks.
I want the tanks instead again. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, no, just kill like 1 million SCVs, please.
Oof, that was...
Yeah, no, he's doing some serious damage here.
He's going to go back and deny the turret. We'll be able to get a couple Marines. Oh, those fresh mules. Nope, going to run about away. That's about as much as he can do. That's plenty, though. 13 SCVs on that. I think he got a tank there, too. Oh, the Marines on the side. Almost getting a nice flank. Gets one on the retreat, so gets something there. But, yeah, Bunny is in a bit of a tough spot.
Yeah, I would say so.
Least.
I would say so. He's playing against Lingbane Muta, and he has less army supply and 30 less workers, which, I mean, that's you kind of expect it at this point, but it just... I'm like trying to go through my mind, like what would Maru do here? I'm like, well, he'd go on to game 3. Because
he would have already won.
Yeah, he would have already won the game or lost the game from here because, you know, this is just, it's such a hard position for Bunny.
Oh, I like that little burrowed Ling at the 4th, too, to, like, know if there's units there to defend it or not, and if he can go and try to backstab. That's actually super cute. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that is neat. Burrow is actually such a useful thing, just having burrowed things throughout the map. Like, look at this.
Isn't it only, like, 50-50 still, too? Or is it 100-100?
It's 100-100 as far as I know.
I thought it was 50-50 at once. Maybe it changed or something. I know.
Well, the Overlord speed switched to 50-50 for a bit, but went
true.
to 75-75, so.
It's true.
Maybe that's what you were thinking.
At Twitter.
Can you imagine if it was 50-50 for Burrow?
I feel... Liquipedia.
It's almost like, I almost want to, it's like, oh, he actually scans and sees a burrowed Ling there, so now he knows what's up, kind of. All right, it looks like Rogue going to turn around. Ooh,
that is a lot of Banes.
But they're mostly hitting Marauders right there. Some good micro here from Bunny overall. His Marine count doesn't really get... Oh my god, that's a lot of Banelings.
The second wave, it's all off creep though, so he's able to split off behind it, and all of a sudden the army supplies are identical.
That is hilarious.
What was that?
That was like, if you cover the name tags, you'd be like, this is Dark. Only Dark makes that many Banelings, but... Bunny ate them up, and now Rogue is actually in some trouble. I mean, we were talking about how the game was over, but give your opponent 50 Banes, and I guess that suddenly you might be in some trouble.
He's up about 30 supply, army supply that is, Bunny, pushing into the 3rd and 4th base. This is a tough spot to go into. There's a lot of flanking potential from the Zerg. There's plenty of creep spread that was here. Bunny's trying his best to get rid of it as much as possible. Huge counterattack with the Lings going onto the 3rd base, and Bunny will have to respect that and retreat so that he does not lose any more economy like he has already this game. And he will be able to deal with this fairly well. It seems the bunker or the depot lift wasn't there, but it seems like he has the unit, so that at least relieved a lot of the pressure off of Rogue, and he did not immediately die after that pretty catastrophic double Baneling wave off creep, whatever that was.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty atrocious move, but he did buy the time, right? And the creep spread is halfway through the map. Rogue is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases right now with nearly 100 drones. So this is now a Baneling printer. Here we go. I mean, he is going to make a lot of them. Here we go. Rolling into those Marines up against the rocks. Oh my gosh, this attack move. Don't just always use the move command.
Oh my goodness, somehow all those Marines end up alive. The Thors tanked a lot of the Banes from the top as well. I think Bunny actually misclicked some of his Marines into the medevac, and he had to boost them away. He was not really sure how he was supposed to micro that. But now we're here with again, equal army supply. A lot of the Ling Bane is starting to filter out now. The Ultra transition is in the middle. They're in the middle of it too, so the Ultra Cavern did finish. Rogue would want to be making Ultras by this point, but he's trying to barely skim by with a bunch of Ling Bane still. Ooh, all the Mute is getting kind of clumped as well. Decent Baneling connections, and I mean, all of a sudden, the army supply is starting to sort of even out.
Yeah, well, this is Rogue kind of taking control of the game, I think, right? Like, Bunny is making a very valiant effort with this push, and Rogue has given him a lot of Banelings to kill this game, but just the fact that Rogue held that, I feel like that was almost Bunny's last hurrah, right? Because, like you said, we're going to get into Ultras now, which means this type of army, you have to tech up way further. And, I mean, there's very few Terrans in the world that can play from a position like this.
And I don't think Bunny is necessarily the one, unfortunately.
No, it's literally TY and Maru that can play from this position against like an Ultra Ling Bane type of game.
The army's still pretty big from Bunny. He's got 2-2.
Yeah,
he's not going to have the 2-2 advantage for or equal upgrade for too much longer. I think actually the +3 melee is pretty late. It just only kind of started recently, so the upgrade timings are a little off this game. But again, the ultras are now starting to come out. We've got the ultra speed and all that good stuff coming in. Huge Baneling single ultra run by will get seen and then thwarted by this leftover bio. But again, the army supply of Bunny is still quite large, but does it actually consist of what is needed to kill off one of these massive rogue armies? Oh, nothing here to defend this at all either.
Really nice move. He actually is targeting the planetary. I'm not sure why he would do that. Okay, he turns around, gets to the SCVs. It makes a bit more sense. And here we go. Going to take an engagement at the same time. So many Banelings rolling through. The Ultras getting on top of some of these Thors. They do get picked up. Some good micro here from Bunny, kiting against these Banes. They're mostly connecting with Marauders. Very good micro again from Bunny.
And now all that's left is Ultras. These Mutas are still ransacking the 4th base, though. There's not even a single turret that was there from before. And all of a sudden, these Ultras are also getting picked off. So this is a little inefficient from Rogue once again. But the question is, does it matter? Because he's killing 19 SCVs behind it. Bunny is not really set up to be losing those SCVs. Usually you'd be seeing in one of these mid-late game TVZs a bunch of orbitals being made, lots of mules being able to be dropped, and it's kind of okay to lose SCVs at this point because then you're just resupplying with Army anyway. But all of a sudden now, Rogue is jumping on this exact thing again, and there it is. Rogue in a pretty convincing second game.
Yeah, I gotta say though, it was probably the sloppiest finish that you could ever see. Like, I'm trying to think of the words to put this into context. Rogue was so far ahead and just kept throwing away armies. Like, he gave him like 50 Banes off creep in 2 waves, like you said.
Yeah.
In 2 waves? Like, if they're together, it doesn't look like that, but it was in 2 waves. And then he was like, had them on the move command. That's something that I definitely, occasionally you need to actually re-give them a command. You can't just always only use move commands for your army. But yeah, we saw even when he gave all that away, still able to finish that off, showing just how far ahead he was. I will give some credit to Bunny here. I think that he capitalized upon the mistakes Rogue made very, very well, and his micro was crisp. It was very good.
Yeah, he definitely was able to split past that. Even though it was off creep, still very solid. So let's see if he can continue that into game number 3.
Game start.
We have no 3-0 again, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Rogue. Team NV. Bunny.
All right. So we had the 4 barracks play. Then we had a Hellbat push. What do we see out of Bunny this time?
BC.
I actually was going to say BC. I would not be too surprised.
Or he just goes full on like, okay, my antics aren't working. Let's just play. Let's try to be innovation.
Try to be straight up or something. I mean, honestly, Rogue has stopped a couple of very aggressive builds and won pretty easy games after that. But after watching Game 2, if Rogue's going to play like that in the mid-game, like, is that... Here's the thing you have to decide, I guess, as Bunny. Was that Rogue just stopping trying because he knows how far ahead he is? Because people do that?
I think so.
Or was that indicative of Rogue's shape at the moment? Because Rogue is a player where, like, he is either the best player in the world and wins the tournament, or he plays like he doesn't even want to be here.
Yeah.
Like, that's Rogue. That's Rogue.
It's literally perfect.
Yeah.
And I do think it was him. I think that was the overconfident.
Yeah.
I know that I'm in the lead and I can just suicide 50 Banelings in 2 different waves off creep at your 4th base and still win anyway move.
We should have a name for that. You rogued that right up.
That's the rogue. Wow, dude, you just got rogued. LOL, dude.
LOL, dude.
But I think also this will be pretty tough for Bunny to come back from, just from a mental state, because historically they are not doing, or he is not doing very well against Rogue. Literally has lost every single series that they've played in the last couple months, 3 in a row. He's currently 1-4, 2-8 in total maps.
Oh man.
Versus Rogue.
Yeah, that's
and
rough.
so to then be getting pushed down 2-0 in this series with, you know, getting rogued is, you know, that's going to be pretty bad for his mental state. So he's going to have to also battle with that in this 3rd game too.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a hard thing to really even compare them. I guess you're always going to find stats like that when you actually look at the players you're comparing. Bunny, a player who were like, he never quite enters the top 6 Terrans in Korea. Whereas Rogue is actually the most accomplished Zerg of all time. The most accomplished player of all time. He just is. He's won more premier tournaments than anyone else. So it's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense, right? That Bunny would have a hard time against him. Can't give him too much hate for that.
Yeah, I guess that is fair as well. Even though Rogue does have his dips and dives pretty drastically.
Yeah,
Bunny has kind of consistently been that somewhat pretty decent player, but hasn't quite been able to break out of it yet. Always looking to see if he can. Reaper going to try to come in here again. We'll get thwarted like usual, and here we go. We've got the Hellbats, we've got the 3rd CC, or the Hellion, sorry, the 3rd CC. No extra Marines being made. There is a medevac though.
Okay.
So are we going to see the armory again?
I mean, I don't mind just a straight Hellion drop every now and then. It's an okay to build to like work in from time to time.
There's a tech lab, so yeah, I guess.
By the way, I'm kind of going through this in my head, right? Like, Rogue is so up and down. A lot of the best players of all time from Protoss are like that as well, where they're really up and down, right? Where it's like Zest,
Deer.
SOS, Deer. Although I can't really call him one of the best of all time, honestly. But
well,
I mean,
that one like 2013 year.
Yeah, he had one great year for sure, and he's a strong player and all. But like Hero, Hero was very up and down. Yeah, I mean, I just wonder what that's all about.
Consistency, I think, is the most difficult thing ever to combat in anything, honestly.
But our Terran players are pretty darn good at that. they stay pretty close to the top.
I guess being a superior Terran has its benefits. I don't know.
Yeah, they're just better players, I guess.
That's what all of Reddit and everything would have you know. Ling did see that medevac load up, by the way, at Bunny's base. So really unfortunate by Bunny as well to have this happen here. And the Queens were completely ready to defend the Hellion drop. The medevac's going to try and boost in here, do the good old fake drop, but also scout of the main base of Rogue, while the Hellions then do go over to the 3rd. I love doing this with DT drops at PvZ, by the way. It's super fun to do this. Rogue is Rogue, and he is going to defend it anyway, so not getting baited by the medevac in the main. Did have good Overlord spread to see the Hellions on the right side, so nothing really going to happen because of that.
Yeah, I like the opener, though, from Bunny, honestly. It's like, it doesn't have to work. It's not a big commitment to make a medevac with your 4 Hellions, you know? And that's, whereas the other 2 games, we saw him make these gigantic commitments, and then the game is almost over. Here, it's like, okay, yeah, that didn't work, whatever. It transitions beautifully into this game that he's playing right here, where he's already making a 4th command.
Yeah, he's definitely looking the best out of any of the games, this game so far, so... definitely working out for him, even though it doesn't really get any huge damage. It at least is giving him a foothold to go on to then propel him into the later stages of the game. And of course, the medevac doesn't die. It did not die, so he does have the chance to still do these later on pushes, or drops, I should say. So he definitely still has opportunities here. We'll see if that can do anything. The Lings are kind of far out of the position, but
yeah, but they should.
They
get
are fast
back.
units.
I mean, yeah, the Overlord spread is really good. You can't expect this to do that much, but you've got this extra APM as the Pro Gamer Bunny, and you're able to get in there, you know, kill a few Lings, whatever, keep him busy. Now he's not killing those rocks that he wanted to, right?
Yep.
So all of this is useful to some degree. Now, Rogue actually going into Ling Bane Hydra. That's I didn't necessarily expect to see this out of him. I don't like the strat as much anymore, and I know a lot of people are going into Lurker with it pretty quickly, but I don't feel like that's honestly the greatest transition. Lingbane Lurker is kind of like, it doesn't fit that well together in my opinion.
For what reason?
You know what I mean? Because Lurkers need some muscle with them. They're siege units, right? They're immobile siege units. So it feels better to me when you're going for a different comp into that. If you go just Lingbane into that, you can get run over, basically, is what I'm saying. The Lings and Banes aren't going to tank any damage for them. But we actually see he's getting Hydralisk upgrades and no Lurker Den. So, yeah, a little bit of an older style. We'll see how that goes.
Bane speed is not quite done yet. It's just getting close, so... Bunny maybe doesn't realize that timing is a little bit unfortunate. He could have maybe tried for something there, thinking that it was probably about to finish. It is finishing now, but he did have that tiny little crisp timing with Bane speed not done. But here we are with it finished. Hydras are also now finally out for Rogan. There is the Lurker done, so looks like he'll be going for Lurkers anyway. This does get pushed back.
Yeah, it does look like he will be heading towards that. Maybe if he gets a stronger base of Hydra, that could be helpful. But it's only a few Hydras in there right now. We'll see how that works out. Bunny, he only has 1 factory, right? Or did he add a second one?
I think it's only one.
Well, he has 3 tech labs.
Yeah, one of those
so
could
I'm
be
not,
on
I'm not. Oh, well, actually, it would show the tech lab next to the 2 tech labs. So those are 3 barracks tech labs.
Oh, is that actually?
Yeah, that is how. Listen, I'm a caster. I know how production tabs
Yeah.
work. Jeez.
I wasn't questioning. I was just amazed.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day, man.
Yeah. No, there you go.
Play this game for 10 years, think you know everything.
We've got to cast a bit more to really understand the ins and outs of the production tab.
No wonder TY is so good now. He's gotten perfect experience on both ends.
I actually, people don't know this, but I cast StarCraft 2 not from a monitor, but I actually have a Wi-Fi scale that just has the production tabs where it tells you your weight, and that's it. I can cast a whole game off that. No problem. When they switch it to unit counts, I'm like, oh no, put it back.
Holy.
All right.
Oh my god, what do I even say to that?
Lots of Banes rolling through right there. Look at this double drop trying to find a way up here.
Holy moly. Alright, Lurkers are finally out. They're going to be burrowing. The upgrade is not done for them yet. Baneley's getting some okay connections there, but Bunny's got a pretty good stronghold onto this 4th base. Lurkers are going to have to still siege up a little bit in range of that tank shot, so they will be able to get one, but the second one still stays alive. Rogue is going to jump on him so he can... oh, what a massive
Huge
Bane hit. Still a couple tanks from the right side. I like that one on the high ground there, but there's just nothing left to support this, and Rogue is going to be able to dislodge this and potentially even snowball it over into this planetary, but there's no Banes left, so it would be kind of hard for him to actually do so.
Yeah, gonna back up for the time being. So good hold there. That was Baneley connection is definitely very, very important for Rogue. Really focusing still pretty heavily on Ling Bane Hydra. Is building that that Hydra count, which I like. Getting a few more Lurkers here as well. Looks like Bunny runs in and snipes that. This is where
Nidus.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We can talk more about that in a second, though, because right now Rogue running in once again to try to knock down this push. Has a couple Vipers. I don't know if they have energy yet. Haven't seen him cast any spells at the moment. Looks like he's going to be able to go ahead and kill off this tank. And that tank on the high ground does get yoinked and pulled in and killed.
A lot of Bunny's reinforcements are starting to group up now, but there's still a good amount of Hydras left that it's a little awkward for him to really push it out. A lot of Lurkers still here too. Yeah, what's up with this double Nidus? I want to know.
Oh,
this is going to be good. I want to see this.
I love it. Like, well, first off, you can Nidus in 2 different locations, obviously, which is amazing. If they work even one time, it's definitely worth it.
Oh man, it's gonna be Lurker Nidus too. That's so frustrating.
Well, you
to
could Lurker Nidus there and then like Nidus another base, and the thing is with 2 Niduses as well, it changes all the math on how to stop it.
Oh yeah.
Right? You can like unload quicker, you can reload quicker. It's more damage output to stop them from coming in. It's not that much more expensive, especially from someone like Rogue, who just like he's like the best Nidus guy, right? He is the Nidus guy.
Yeah. Interestingly, they're both being put in like the same spot, one in the main and one in the natural, right next to each other. So that's like very interesting. But the Lurkers will be able to get out, going right into the main base, right on top of all of the production. And this is going to be an absolute pain to dislodge. A bunch of factories are being made into the natural, but it's a little bit too late to get the massive tank count up to dislodge this. So it's going to be quite awkward. Drop going off into the center base, and Bunny will be able to now go into the Lurker, into the main. Clears out all of them, actually, pretty decently, but there's still a whole bunch of them in the net.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of SCVs now. He still has near 60, so that's all right. And continuing to try to get some drop harassment done. Just goes ahead and kind of carpet bombs into that main base. Going to clear these Lurkers as well. But, you know, I think the Niduses are doing, like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like he's using his most expensive units coming out of them. He did lose a lot of Lurkers. Yeah, he killed some SCVs. But, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't as spectacular as what I was looking for with that, you know?
Yeah, it felt really fancy, you know? He really felt like he was trying to fancy foot that one. Like,
yeah.
I feel like, did that really give him what he wanted if compared to just continuing to do kind of, you know, frontal pushes and split attention between the 2 different bases? I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of bio actually dropping over here to the center base again. We'll be able to kill it. An attempted blinding cloud to save it, not really working. But here come the Niduses once more. This is the continued threat of them. It's not just once that they come out. You can continuously do them. And so you always have to be aware of it on the minimap, and it's really, really taxing to always deal with that. And here he's only getting a couple units out of each one, so it's not like he's doing these massive waves anymore. Even just like a single couple units, you have to full commit to defending them anyway. So
you never know. He might pop a few more out there as well. And I mean, he could even retreat from an area also. I love the move overall. And I think this time, I like how he's doing it, right? He is forcing these big commitments to actually deal with it. And let's not forget, he's on nearly 90 drones behind this. So any time that he buys, any time that he does not have Bunny on his back, is really good for Rogue.
Absolutely. And I like how he's doing this, too. He does a couple units first, and then once he realizes he's got a good spot, he puts some more in, and more lurkers are over there. And while that's happening and getting cleared up, he's got a whole bunch of banelings running into the 4th base on the left, and we'll be able to kill that pretty easily. He's even going to go into the supply depot wall.
Kill everything. Just kill everything.
Go into the mineral line as well.
Oh my god, and then he kills the entire economy.
Banelings. I love him.
Oh my banelings. It's the new oh my god, and it makes perfect sense.
Imagine actually like walking out and saying that to someone that doesn't play this game.
Oh man, the amount of damage done to Bunny's economy is just gigantic, right? He's down to 26 workers. He's got slightly more army supply, but if you just look at only the creep spread and the fact that Rogue is still mining, like, okay, well, even if you have a decent army, you can't hurt him. You cannot. It's like too far in on creep to get anything done. Okay, well that was... I don't know about that one,
Unlucky.
But okay.
Another one going in the net, though. Let's see if that one can get spotted. Yes, it will, so that's not going to do anything either.
This is pure Rogue, by the way.
Yeah.
Just constant Nidus is popping up absolutely everywhere. And here's the thing, like, have you seen any games with double Nidus like this recently? I think I saw Serral last year do a double Nidus game one time at like WESG, I want to say.
This game specifically reminds me of the finals versus Trap on King's Cove that he won with mass Infester Nidus and spamming Infested Terran. That's the only thing I think I saw it of. No, it wasn't.
But look, I mean, if this becomes like a trend, then we're looking at another Rogue World Championship, man. Like, because he is the Nidus King.
Yeah.
There is no question that this guy uses Nidus far more than everyone, and most of his peaks are when Nidus is strong.
That is a good point. That is entirely true. A lot of lurkers coming into the bottom side again, trying to get some sort of foothold over here. I mean, this base has already been killed, basically. We killed every SCV at it, so he's just kind of doing it for just position's sake. He loses all the lurkers. Bunny does get a nice surround with that scan as well, so he will dislodge that. But again, the economy is just absolutely untouched from Rogue, so he has the ability to be wasteful here a little bit.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, you can trade at a deficit when you're mining this much more than your opponent. Bunny on 30 SCVs, like, you know how cost efficient he has to be? He has to be 3 times more cost efficient than Rogue here. Oh, and it's just not going to happen. GG. And Rogue gonna 3-0, continuing this stretch of 3-0 series. Gemini, I'm gonna ask you to sit this last series out. And Maru versus Kira, I'm really looking forward to.
Let's call Tasteless back in. We don't know what's happening. We need a.
Well, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say that.
Okay. Well, I guess you'll solo cast this one. Enjoy it. Just like your streams, lazy.
Well, Bunny just not strong enough today to fight against Rogue. Rogue, like, there was definitely some sloppiness to it. But there could be because of the rest of his domination.
Yeah.
So I guess we can't really say too much about it. Yeah, Rogue moves on.
It was an expected result. This is the one that we said, if anything, it was going to be the 3-0 out of all of them. So the actual result itself is not unexpected, but given the fact that the other ones were also similar is a little surprising, at least to say. So unfortunate for Bunny. A tough draw on the bracket, getting put up with Rogue, someone that he has historically been doing not that great against in the last couple months, so I'm sure he was not quite happy when he saw that come up.
Yeah, and that's fair, but you know what? It's SuperTournament. It's like starting GSL Kodes in the round of 16.
It's true.
All right, we are going to go to a break. Then our last match of the round of 16, and tonight, Maru versus Kira.
wanna keep your head. Disappointed, 'cause you never see me. I'm better than you think of you. You're not very simple, you. Hold me to the waist, baby, touch me on my skin, will you love me? Let me be something that you never imagined. Hold me to the waist, baby, touch me on my skin, or just love me. Something that you never imagined.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
이상한데? 그렇게 작아. 너무 안 보이는데? 보이지가 않잖아. 이거 쓸 수가
아니,
없는데?
저거 키워보라고.
성능 17대화면으로 언제 어디서나 더 크게 즐기다. WQXGA 초고화 질의 17대화면 16:10 최적의 화면비. 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준 LG 울트라 기어.
라면이요.
자, 이게
나왔습니다.
잠깐만 들어주세요. 빨리 나와요 이거.
음료 나왔습니다.
From the beginning.
상큼한 복숭아가 사이다를 더 청량하게. 새로움을 마시다.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
Africa TV, Free Cup Studio Live. 2020 GSL Super Tournament Season 2.
All right, it's been a quick day as far as Super Tournament goes. 3-3-0s so far. Will we have another? It's Maru going up against Kira. A couple of finalists from this year. You know what they have in common?
They're both Terran.
That's true.
They both used to be on Generic.
That's true as well. Anything else?
I was about to say if their names are similar, but no. What?
They both lost to TY in GSL Finals this year. Bam, that's the one. That's the one I was looking for.
Nice.
You got two, but not that one.
The most important one of all as well. I'm dropping the ball here, I guess. I'm useless.
Oh, this is funny. I actually forgot that Maru won Super Tournament 1 this year.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. That just totally left my brain. Yeah, so you can see obviously Maru's having a great year. Not as great as the year where he won all the GSLs, but still a pretty great year.
Yeah, it's not a 4 GSL in a row, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm really, really upset of him not being able to hold up that standard, to be honest.
It's disappointing.
Yeah. You hate to see it. But yeah, this match, hopefully, we had a lot of 3-0s. This one I was looking forward to possibly be the real good banger.
Yeah.
Recently, they did play in the King of Battles finals back in October, and that was a 3-1 for Maru. So they are... Those games, though, were not really 3-1 looking, though. They were some pretty back and forth, close, long games.
Yeah.
So the actual series does say 3-1, but it was really honestly much closer than that.
Like
so
that. Yeah, I get you.
I don't expect this one to be over in the same fashion that the others have been, but
now I totally get what you're saying. And like for instance, Cure versus TY first finals of the year, it was a 4-0 for TY. It didn't feel like a 4-0 because Cure played well. The thing is, I think Cure fights well, but I don't think he's the level of a Maru or a TY, right? I think right now he's the 5th best Korean Terran. And clearly the top 2 are Maru and TY. So I look at this and I'm like, I think Maru's going to win.
So Maru, TY, NO somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Where's...
Beyond. The 4 Horsemen, man. Whenever they're active, they're the 4 best.
You think Beyond is better than Cure at the moment? I mean,
yes,
okay, yes. I did. Yeah, the Aces Rock literally escaped my brain as I said it. As I said, I was like, wait a minute.
What more can he do?
I'm still in like Maynard's chat, being like, Maynard, did you know that Beyond is back? He's like, wait, the GSL, the WCS BlizzCon champion, he's back? No, surely, and he surely did not just win Aces Rock. You're kidding me. You're kidding me,
dude. In fact. Isn't he the only player to ever defeat Cyril and Maru in the same tournament?
Maybe.
I believe he is. That's pretty sick.
Anyways,
Anyways, why are we talking about Beyond? He's out of this tournament. Let's go.
Well,
Maru versus Cure. Let's do it.
Now, game start.
Wear the daddy pants.
Team NV, Maru. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Cure.
So, I'm excited. I want to see what Cure can do here. Maru is an exceptional TV tier, but he did lose to Beyond, right? Which is kind of interesting. It's not something I would expect, because Maru is just like the complete package, you know?
Yeah. He's also been doing his own stuff, kind of, in TVT, right? With the Mass Raven stuff been coming back. He's really kind of the first one to be doing that again recently, at least from what I've seen. And other players are starting to do it a bit more now too, but he really identifies with that style. I feel like he's really, really strong at controlling that. He just does it more consistently than anyone else, so I would not be surprised to be seeing that here as well. I think it's become very, very standard for him. The question that I have is how many Proxy 2-Racks Reapers are we going to be having out of him in this series? That's what I want to know.
Well, they were on a team together for a very long time in Gen Air, right? So I would almost feel like this is not the guy to necessarily do that against too much. It's funny, they're both going for the 2-Racks here anyways, but not Proxied.
He did do it versus him in that final, actually, the first game. So you never know with Maru, man. You never know.
Yeah, no, he's definitely willing to mix that up. What you were saying about the Raven thing is actually, I think it's, you know, when I say someone's the full package, because there's this thing where it's like most people, they're like, I love saying people are strong and weak for the same reason, right? The reason why you're strong is also why you're weak, because it's like, that's how StarCraft is for most people. But then you get the people at the very top, Cyril, TY, Maru. That's all that comes to mind right now. But like these complete package players, they do absolutely everything. They have the full range. Everything is there. They're just everything you see them do. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's part of the reason why you see Maru start doing that, right? He has complete comfort in the late game. Ooh. Well, he doesn't get the punish off, but Maru gonna run away, sees exactly what the build is. But yeah, he has that complete comfort. Now, as far as the Supreme late game TVT, does Cure have that same comfort level? I think he's pretty good at it, but I always find him to be a little bit more aggressive in TVT.
Yeah. Maru definitely is someone that does sit back a little bit more in the mid-late game, I think, and I feel like he hits his stride when he can outposition with larger tank counts and stuff like that. I think he is really good at maintaining his tank count and not really losing it to other players compared to other players. It's actually a cute little move to try and come around the backside.
I like the idea.
It's like what you do with it's like what you do with like stalkers versus the Marines as well in that kind of situation. But yeah, he's someone that I think is really good at keeping his tank out and then doing a really good job of positioning with those tanks. He played versus Clem in the Aces as well, and he had this one insane game that he was super far behind on Lightshade, and then he did this one very committed counter push with tanks, and he just did it so he like leapfrog his tanks so precisely and so well. He was just getting value off of every shot. Clem wasn't getting a single shot back at him, and he was able to pull it back because of that. And so that game honestly was super impressive from my perspective.
Damn. So
I
didn't see that one actually.
It is worth
it. Try to
definitely
revisit
worth
that one.
So I'm looking for this series definitely.
Yeah, it's well, that's part of the thing with Maru, right? He's just so good at everything that you kind of expect. It's like, oh yeah, no, he'll dominate that position, this position. He's always ahead, stuff like that. But knows how to come back if he's not. He's still trying to harass with less units. Love to see it.
He's getting some damage. I mean, he picked off a Reaper there. He almost got the second one too. Look at that, perfectly even.
Not bad.
Wow, not bad. It's the most even game we've had for the whole day. No, where's my 20 drones, 9 to 2 Banshees? Come on, where's it at? Let's get to that.
Well, there's still time.
Yeah,
there's still time.
I want to see it. Oh, they're both going Raven. How boring.
Both going Stim as well. Very similar builds out of the two players. It does get that lock on. Kira not going to get too much done with these, but I mean, they're hitting the point where they're not really that useful anymore. So I don't think it's the end of the world to lose them there.
Yeah, you really don't care about. It's almost like one of those things where you almost just want to get rid of them so you don't have to use them. Like you don't get baited into using it in a dumb way or overthinking it. You're like, why is this with my army still? Let me just get rid of this. I don't even want this anymore.
Or giving too much attention to a unit that literally has no value anymore. We see people do that sometimes, right? Where it's like, dude, that unit doesn't mean anything anymore. Just leave it. Just don't even look at it again. It's like microing a unit that can't kill anything anymore while it's still in your opponent's base. It's like, you know it can't kill anything. Why? Go back and make your Nexus, you know?
But if they don't look at it for this amount of time, then I'm going to get it.
I just want to highlight reel. Wow, look at these grenades!
Oh my goodness. I wish it would have just broke that lock on. That would have been super sick. Stim is done, though, so he's going to be able to come in and capitalize a little bit. Still gets away.
On what?
Still gets away.
That's just going to cost some medevac energy is all that Stim did.
Maru wins even when he loses.
I know. It's true. It's something we see with this guy. All right. Well, their upgrades are pretty close to each other right here. As far as the worker count goes, within 1 on each side. Scan going off, making sure he knows exactly what's up.
This is going to be pretty mirrored for a bit. I think it's going to be... this is what I think a lot of the games are going to look like, honestly. If we get like a full 5 set, it's going to look very similar to this. And then in the next 5 or so minutes is when it's the explosions start happening, where we get a lot of move outs. TVT is kind of like this right now. Both players are going for this pure defensive setup, not really trying to do the huge amounts of committed harassment other than like the Reapers and stuff like that. It's you kind of have to build up a little bit on that 3 base to then get into your bigger tank counts, your big Marine balls, and then all of a sudden it's sensor towers everywhere, trying to find everything, outposition everything, and then trying to swing it that way.
Yeah, and as we approach that area of the game, I think it's much more likely that we'll see Cure move out with his full army and Maru to take a slightly more defensive stance while doing moves like this.
Yes.
That's something that he and TY, especially TY, I would say, I would bet any amount of money that would be how he would play a game. But Maru tends more towards that kind of defensive side with the lighter harassment. You see here, just boosts over that turret, and I mean he's getting a decent amount of SCVs here. Oh my God, is he gonna stop an upgrade?
I like the interference matrix on the medevacs to make sure at least he doesn't get out with the units, but killing an upgrade, that's massive in a mirror matchup.
It really is. I mean, +1 attack is what you want, but the armor, you will take it. Absolutely, and he gets out with the medevacs. and got 9 SCVs and lost mining time. Very worth. Very worth.
Absolutely. This is what I think Maru is really good at, too, with the... Whenever he does do the pressure, he is generally more defensive in this matchup in the mid-game, yes. But when he does do pressure, it's calculated like that. It's 2 medevacs, not your whole army.
Oh, absolutely.
Cure, someone I see sometimes does go for the big medevac boosts into the main base to try and, you know, totally wipe out production. Maru loves doing those very more simple, calculated, not too much, not too little pressures, and it works extremely well for him right here.
Yeah, when you have this level of mastery that he and TY have, you know, this is I think a superior way to play. Like, look, this is exactly what I was talking about. Here we are, and Kira's moving out with his entire army, right? This is basically everything. Maru on a much more defensive stance, and let's see what he can get done. All right, gonna go ahead and boost into the natural. He does have a pretty good siege tank setup. Oh, actually disables one of them. I like that move quite a bit.
He's actually getting supply block too, because a lot of these depots are at the natural, so that's actually quite bad for Maru here. He's not going to be able to reinforce this, and Kira's army overall is larger now because of this. He is down the upgrade because it did get sniped just before, so that's going to be a critical role here. But one of these Ravens is super low on energy too, by the way, but it might still be able to get its spells off since there's not many things in range to actually kill it. So this is going to still be kind of awkward for Maru or Kira to really do much more with. So Kira's really just going to back up. He's kind of just like, okay, I tried to equalize it a little bit.
Yeah, I think that was a really high-quality move from Kira, to be honest. He found a little area where he could do some damage. He got that supply block for a little bit. I think it was a good move. But here, is he going to be in trouble? Oh, my God.
Dorito dust everywhere.
Spread. Yeah.
Oh, gets the Raven on that back end. That's quite nice. Now it's... a single Raven to no Ravens, and once it gets to the later stages of the game, the Raven count really does become extremely influential with how many different disables, how many different auto turrets can get put out, how much Dorito dust gets spammed everywhere, so it's always something to keep in mind. I'm surprised he's not repairing it, actually.
A lot going on, I guess.
Oh, how'd this get here?
Yeah, kind of funny. The SCV actually scouts that, which is really useful for Maru, because that's a big force that's going towards his third base, but he scans, he sees that Maru, of course, scouting his little side attack force, is going to be ready for it.
2-2 is actually already finished for Maru. He's like, even if the one upgrade did not get canceled, he was still quite ahead of that. But he hasn't started his, oh, there we go. There's that +3, but he missed the armor, unfortunately. So Kira has the opportunity to catch back up a little bit there if he is on time with his. But yeah, here comes the positional game. This is where we have to start looking at where these armies actually go. There's a lot of splitting up of these armies. Maru's going to be able to catch whatever this army is on this right side, while Kira is kind of split on 2 complete ends. Maru just field goals it right through the middle.
Yeah, he's actually killing him on 2 different sides right now. Kira is trying to do something really similar. He is going for a bit of a doom drop at the natural, but I don't think it's quite as strong as Maru's overall attack. Maru's already killed 2 bases, and he's coming back with half of his army to help clean this up.
Oh, all those Marines attack the SCVs. Oh no, he's not looking at... He's defending the stuff in his main, of course, as now Maru is sieging up at that natural, and now Kira is the one going into Maru's main. And I can't really tell because their armies are still so similar. They haven't fully engaged each other yet. There's a lot of Vikings from Maru here, so it'll be quite difficult for Kira to retreat with this if Maru can actually pounce on it.
Well, Maru's saved command centers, and he has a bigger Viking count, so he should be able to clean this up. Kira's basically not mining. He lost, like, everything, and now Maru's bringing everything back. Yeah, it's, like, a huge high-damage move from Kira, but there's no longevity, right? Like, he's going to be able to whittle this down.
Once again, the tank count, remember how I said that Maru always loves to try and keep his tanks as much as possible?
Yeah.
The Vikings actually getting pounced on by these Marines, a lot of them going down. They will trade off for the medevacs, and now we're seeing the trade happen once they finally do engage with each other, and all of this will get cleaned up in Maru's base. Maru did have to bring all of his stuff back to deal with this, so Kira also is out of his base, and they're extremely even on army, but you said that Maru saved CCs, however, he doesn't actually have workers.
Yeah, that's a very
Kira,
good point.
He does have 2 more CCs still.
Yeah, he did actually. I thought he lost one of those, but I guess he does have some command centers left. He still can get some mining done. Let's see. I don't think he's going to get anything done with this attack. Maybe Kira fights back here.
Oh, that's the worst feeling. That is the worst, when you just eat it for the shot and you don't even commit. You're just like, oh, all right, I just lost 100% there.
Well, Maru, he does have the 3 commands right now, one of which is a planetary. He's pretty well defended. He still has more Vikings, and he actually added a couple facts, so he is going to just be focusing on that tank count that you were talking about. Looks like +3 finishing up. Overall army supply is pretty similar, but the tank count definitely very favored for Maru still. Just tech-wise, Maru has much better, right? He has 3 medevacs against 0, 5 Vikings against 0, and 7 tanks.
Correct. His Marine count is sufficiently lacking, though. He's almost down half the amount of Marines. Cure has got an incredible production of Marines out right now. This sensor tower is not quite done, so Kira doesn't actually see this army here quite yet. Oh, almost kills it! Oh my God! That's at like 0.5% from finishing, and it's like 35 health from actually dying. That's kind of funny.
That actually tells us a lot about the mindset of Maru. The fact that he targeted the sensor tower specifically shows that he wants to kind of play in the dark spots for Cure and get some harassment done, realizing that he is a bit behind economically.
That's a good point. That is a good point. That's some 5-head analysis right there. Oh my goodness. Holy moly already. Wow. All right, but yeah, Cure is definitely ramping up pretty heavily since he did have that SCV count saved more so than Maru. The Marine count, like I said, is going to be much, much more in his favor. And he's going to try to do this push up into the top side. Maru, once again, is kind of field goaling the armies here, coming in between them, but realizing that his army is much, much smaller. A lot of his army is in these Vikings, but is this going to be useful? Oh my God, he just runs straight into the tank line. There's so many Marines that he's going to be able to blast through it. Vikings, again, being completely useless up at the top here, and all of Maru's army is completely caught off, getting forced on siege, and Cure pouncing on the bottom side as well.
Beautiful.
This is insane damage.
What an awesome finish there. Really great moves from Cure. That was a beautiful game. We saw their styles really play out there, and even though, like, Maru had the more high-tech units, you were right. He lost like all his SCVs during Cure's attack. So big cheers to Cure for that. Really helping himself to refill his army, get that overwhelming Marine count, and bust through at the end. A great game. A great game.
And a good result for all of us trying to watch as well, because, you know, people are probably sitting here and be like, yeah, let's go Maru. He's going to win. Woo, he's really favored in TVT. Cure comes in with the first game win.
Yeah, this almost
5-game
guarantees no
series.
3-0. No one's ever 3-0'd Maru.
Yeah.
It's never happened.
Wait, easy there, because the last time I heard you say something like this, then the guy got reverse 3-0'd. And I made a video about it.
Oh. It's not going to happen. Don't worry about it.
Wonderful. I hope so. I'm cheering for that to not happen as well.
All right. Next up, Death Aura. See if Maru can fight his way back. Cure, of course, leading 1-0. That was such a nice first game. I love how stylistic TVT can get as well. It's really nice to see because it's a mirror matchup, so you almost don't expect it as much, but you really can see it kind of shine through the way that they like to play.
Yeah, and I think I like how it did kind of actually happen the way we were expecting it to as well. We saw the big push-outs from Cure with his main army trying to get position on the map. Maru doing those small calculated pressures with the medevac and the Reapers and the Cyclone and stuff like that. And although Maru was unable to win, he was still doing a good job of keeping his tank count alive, doing the best that he could in the situation with that base trade. But I mean, I have to go back and look at it exactly, but like it was kind of strange how it actually ended up favoring Cure at the end of it. It really did seem like Maru had the jump on him almost, but he still ended up behind anyway.
Yeah. Well, Maru cleared command centers real quickly. He killed like 2 command centers right off the bat with the 2 pushes, and then he went to the natural. And here's the thing, right? He left half of his army at the natural to make sure that lift and everything and no reinforcements are coming out, and then he sent half of it back, which I immediately thought like, oh, this could be a really good move. Whereas Cure actually continued with the plan. He said, screw it. He pulled everything he could back into his main, and his army that was out there was not turning around. So Maru didn't really try to force his way up the ramp or anything. He just kind of sat there, whereas Cure just kept pushing. He utilized all of his units, got full damage out of them. When Maru's having to traverse the whole map to get back, it gave him that extra lead on damage.
Yeah, that's a good point for sure. Knowing that he kind of wanted to do that damage, and it really did feel like a one-way trip for him, knowing that he maybe was behind in the Viking count as well, thinking, okay, maybe my medevacs, they're not going to have a chance to get out anyway. So let me fully commit, let me back up into my main, deal as much damage as possible, I know this is going to die, but I'm going to end up better off anyway at the end.
Yeah, yeah. And I think at the end of the day, that was probably the move that won it for Cure. Very strong move overall, and just the fact that he killed like all the SCVs. Maybe Maru should have focused on getting SCVs out or something, but those base trades, like you can't even practice for a base trade. Every single base trade game is so completely different from the other ones. You just have to kind of play by intuition.
Yeah. It's really tough. That's me as a player as well. I always struggle with that. You know, when I'm playing my ladder games at home, it's really something you do not expect to go into ever, unless you're someone that's trying to actually go for that style. Like, there's your SOSs or your whoever's that will try to maybe push those a little bit harder. But
for sure,
it's really hard to practice that stuff. It's completely just on the fly stuff.
Yeah, it truly is. A little tip for Protoss players out there: make your Dark Shrine.
Oh yeah,
it's the ultimate in base trades is DTs.
I mean, recall as well is also super strong.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the thing that I tell the most to Protoss is when you see a base trade happening, simply make a decision. Like go straight on his decision. I'm going to do this. I have this much room to do this, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maru being down, one game here. Let's see what happens. Game number 2.
Team NV, Maru. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Cure.
So, let's see what they're gonna do. I'm excited. That was really fun because they opened up with like the same openers basically, but then you saw them just kind of stylize and go off the sides and play in very, very different ways.
But yeah, to finish my point. Yeah, whenever a base trade is happening, make a decision. Say, I'm going to do this. I have this much room to do it. Commit to it, and then you have your recall. You can recall right back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super fun. Yeah, a lot of times you see players like they just get really completely chaotic in the situation. They don't know what they're supposed to actually do. They just see it happening in a way that they didn't anticipate. They're like, oh God, what am I do? Oh, there's so many things that could happen. Oh, do I do this? Do I do that? Oh my God, I don't know what to do. But for Protoss, it's pretty good having the recall ability to just zoop it on back home, knowing you always have that advantage with you, and then like you said, DTs are pretty good. But
yeah,
these players are not Protoss whatsoever, so this is not valuable here whatsoever. But I hope you all you Protoss players watching, you can take that little tidbit and go ahead and make some Terran players mad on the ladder. Do it.
Honestly, though, it is useful in one way. Decisivity is one of the most high, like, I would rate it as one of the most valuable things in StarCraft. Being decisive. It is much better to be very decisive and do the wrong thing than to hem and haw and figure out the right thing to do.
Yes.
That is something that I think people really miss out on, especially newer players that are always talking about strategies. Like, what do I do strategically here? What do I do strategically there? It's like, well, actually, if you just focused, and I mean, this goes down as far as focus on your micro or your macro or whatever it is that you're doing at the time, but just when you make a decision, do it all the way.
Yeah.
Just do it.
This is extremely relevant. I literally was just asking Trap about a specific thing I was doing with defending one base TVP, and I didn't know what to do as a follow-up, right? I would defend their initial harass, and then I didn't know what to do afterwards, so I would just actually do nothing because I'm trying to my brain is like, okay, I want the exact perfect response, but then I don't know what it is, and so then my brain wants to do 3 things, and I don't be decisive enough. I don't say, okay, I'm just going to do this, I'm just going to spend my money, whatever, and then he's literally just sitting there being like, dude, just spend your money, what are you talking about, just do whatever. I was like, oh,
absolutely.
Oh, you're so smart. Okay, what am I doing over here?
That's actually a perfect example of it. Perfect example. Just do stuff.
Just do it.
Yeah. It is a very strategic game, but it's won more by decisive players than strategic players, honestly.
Shia LaBeouf would be an amazing StarCraft player.
Would he?
He's the just do it, the just do it. You know
is he?
You know that meme?
No.
Oh. What?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Not like this. Not like this. The one time that I think I can bring up a meme on broadcast that Artosis surely knows about.
No, I don't know it, man.
Oh, no.
Was it like this all along? Yes, it was, Gun Astronaut. That's the only meme I know anymore.
Oh. Boomers.
Yep. All right, so a nice little concave here from Cure. He's got a few Hellions out. He's just been a little bit of poking back and forth. Looks like Maru going to go ahead and move out, tank 4 Marines and that medevac. A couple Reapers going with him as well.
I know this is not related at all, but I really want to see a proxy 2-Rex out of Maru. I just love watching him proxy, so I'm just kind of waiting for that to happen. But we're not. That's that's much in the future. We're not even in that game right now. But so Maru's going to be doing again some light pressure. We'll see what he can get done with this. Cure is pretty positioned to not deal with this. Actually, there's a tank in here. He's going to do it on the below ground, so he can actually kind of flank that with the Hellions here. But now the Marines have free reign into the main. They'll be able to definitely get some SCVs here. They're not getting out, though, for sure.
Well, the medevac goes down very, very quickly here. How many SCVs does he actually end up getting?
8. Wow.
Okay, 8 SCVs, and he loses the tank, the Marines, and the medevac.
He lost a lot for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I like it or not, and I think the answer is no.
Yeah.
I think the 8 Hellions coming in are actually going to be more valuable.
Is this going to just kill Maru? What does he have to kill 8? How many ever Hellions this is? The Raven's going to come out now, but he doesn't have a tank.
Yeah, with the Raven, he
tank
can't break it.
Tank's out right now.
There's plenty there right now.
For a second, it was like literally was just only Marines and a Cyclone. I was like,
yeah,
this doesn't kill 8 Hellions. What am I looking at here?
Especially when he microed against the lock-on so quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the tank popped out quickly enough. Isn't going to find anything else.
I mean, he ends up ahead on workers. He's up 2 workers. He'll have an extra 2 here in a second, so he's technically kind of up like 2.5 workers or so. So not too bad. His third CC timing will be a little bit off just because he has to float it down, whereas Cure has the map control and map presence to be able to just build it on location. So that's a nice little adjustment from Cure there. But it'll be going pretty even going into this mid game for now.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you say map control, right? But Maru sends a single Marine out and technically, I guess, has map control in a way. But no, you're quite right. The mobile force is Cure's, so Maru cannot really venture out other than a little scout like this.
This lone Marine actually going to be able to do everything it needs to do. It's
dominating
exactly
the
what
map.
happens. By the technical, definition of map control, Maru literally is he is the one in the lead of that right now.
He's got more on the map, but not anymore.
Nope, now it's back over to Cure because he's got that Viking slowly patrolling just outside his main.
There you have it.
Perfect.
All right. So Maru going to go ahead, float down. Of course, losing just a little tiny bit of SCV production there too, but none of this matters all that much. Cure is slightly ahead on his upgrades here. As you can see, about halfway done. And Maru's going to have to play a little bit more of a turtle game. Cure just, I mean, Maru has a little bit more of the tech, so I don't think he's going to die or anything, but, Cure is going to be in control of the map for quite some time.
I feel like Maru's fine with that too, like that kind of, that's what he goes for in this matchup, right?
Yeah.
He's going for the multi-Raven style as well again this game. He's got 3 of them out so far. He's cutting it for now to get some extra Vikings out, but he does have the 3 Ravens, so that does give him a lot more utility in these fights. A lot of this army from Cure, the supply difference is huge, but a lot of it is Hellions. A lot of disables going down onto those 2 tanks, though, which is extremely influential. So now this stimmed bio is going to get up on top of all of this actual unstimmed bio from Maru. Maru does not have stim with these Marines, or just didn't use it.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have it yet, right? But yeah, the auto turrets just completely saved him there.
Yeah.
So Cure, I mean, I guess Cure got a little bit done, but yeah, that kind of went how
that was a strange looking fight.
Yeah, it was definitely very strange looking. It was good disable on the tank and everything. It's just
I thought the disables were honestly going to swing it a lot more heavier than it did, and then the Ravens do then come back. Like those auto
5
turrets,
auto turrets.
They literally do so much more than you ever think they do.
Yeah.
Like they don't look like they actually contribute so much, but they're so huge in what they do.
They do so much damage. They're not there for that long, but they really do, and they tank a ton too.
And you think it's really going to only be versus the tanks, right? You think they just, because don't they have like an extra, don't they do extra versus armored? Am I totally wrong on that? Or am I?
I'm actually not sure.
I thought there was like I thought there was something they did to make it so that they were better versus tanks for some reason. I don't know why, but you think they're really going to only be good at dislodging like the tank positions, but they actually do a lot of damage to the Marines as well. So it's tough to gauge it sometimes.
Well, that's how the Hellions all exploded so quickly.
That's
which
true.
He would have been massacred if not, right?
God,
So
Ravens are such good units, man.
They're pretty all right, for sure. All right, a couple of medevacs filled up here. He's just outside the sensor tower on the other side. So as these get boosted in, he's actually moving in with the rest of his forces. Well, it looked like he was, but he's actually just sitting right inside of that sensor tower range.
I'm here, look at me. Gets into the main, we'll be able to siege up the tank. We'll be able to, just siege up the auto turrets. There we go.
Auto turrets
again.
just wreck everything.
Dude, auto turrets are so good at this. I love it.
Auto turrets are really good at StarCraft.
Yes, they are the best StarCraft players.
They don't last very long.
Why would you need to when you can just destroy everything right as they come out? It's pretty good. I want to see when he starts remaking more more Ravens to see if he wants to replenish that at all.
We'd have to get basically maxed out, I think, at that point, where you actually are thinking about going into Sky Terran. More factories down on both sides. Both sides getting the 2-2. And Maru, I saw him load up some medevacs. Yeah, there they are on the left-hand side of the map. So Maru's doing his thing, right? He's got the heavy tech units. He's really focusing on that, continuing his upgrades and everything, and starting to get his harassment going. Scans to see exactly what's up. Notice how he's standing half in, half out of the sensor tower range.
Yeah, I just saw that too. You're right.
It's kind of interesting.
It is interesting.
I actually always had this thought where it would be smart against a turtle player in a position like this. Like if you are playing a TVT, like this exact situation, you're Kira and you have map control, it would be cool to just put like patrolling Marines that go in and out on the sides of their furthest away sensor towers. Because it adds confusion and it adds stress to looking at the minimap and stuff. Like that's you never know when stuff's coming in. Like if you start ignoring blips on your minimap, then that's really bad.
Oh my god, that is 5 head Artosis is back. That is amazing. That is so good.
I think it's a good tactic.
All right, so Army on the left side is going to come in here. We gotta disable on one of the tanks, which will give him position to put his tanks up forward a little bit, and we'll be able to kill that first one. Dorito Dust going on to the main Marine force. We'll be able to still pick off the Liberator regardless, so that's kind of a nice pick off there from Kira given the situation. The drop from Maru now is going to go into the third base, and there's not much here, although the reinforcements are positioned up to the top, so he will be able to clear this eventually, but we'll kill off some SCVs from the start and get into the main as well.
Yeah, a little bit annoying. It's going to take some of his attention. Oh, he has a round pops out just as he gets up there. So good defense there by Kira. Maru is going to end up holding on. This is the beautiful part about being a little bit more tech-heavy as Maru, even though your harassment is maybe not doing all that much. With the Raven lead, the Viking lead, and sitting in a more turtled position, he can do things like utilize those Liberators, right? And keep Kira back. Like, how is Kira supposed to attack right now?
Yeah.
You really can't. Like, the best I think he can do right now, honestly, is to throw down his own starports and 2 more command centers. I think that's the play.
Yeah. And this looks so similar to their King of Battles tournament, or King of Battles match as well, where Maru is doing this thing where he's just sitting back, getting the Ravens faster, while Kira's trying to be on the map as much as possible. And there we go, just like you said.
2 starports, 2 commands.
5 head Artosis is back.
He never left. Oh, sick armor shred right there. Look at that. Kira having to back up.
And here we have Maru doing what Maru does, where he defends the whole time, and then once he does move out, he seems to be able to pick his fights so well and just be able to jump on people all the time. He always seems to be able to get these first jumps on people's armies and is really good at then continuing to get better positions off of that. This game, he's kind of backing up a little bit, so he doesn't quite think that he can fully push it, but still giving him position to then take this other base to the right side too.
Yeah, they're both going to be expanding all over the place. You see the Corvid reactor almost done here for Maru. And this is where they're both heading towards Sky Terran. And here's, I think, the problem for Kira. He's heading into Sky Terran against Sky Terran, whereas he's a more aggressive Terran, so he's in this situation less. And Maru started first. So both those things give Maru a pretty sizable advantage in this situation.
Kira is coming up to this with a flank, though. There's a very large portion of his army coming all the way around. I wonder if he's actually going to commit there or if he's going to go for the base. Looks like he's going for the base before it gets put up into a planetary. So that's a quite nice pickoff as Maru's kind of slow pushing this top part. And, those SCVs barely not getting caught by those Marines. It's quite unlucky. But Maru, again, up here is slow pushing this. He has a big army here to go against this. Kira has the opportunity to continue his counter pressure or go in for the flank. It seems like he's going to continue pushing into this third base location. And I mean, Maru's lost a base. He's not quite killed the base he's trying to push so far. So I mean, this is looking pretty all right for Kira in this specific moment.
You know, yeah, I loved his kill of that command center on the side. And this is taking Maru a long time, but he's showing the type of value he can extract from his army, right? Kira's not going to get any more damage than he did. Maru, I don't think he can really push further right now. I think he does have to back up.
Yeah.
A little bit of a tit for tat there. You can really see, too, look at the unit tab that we have up right now, right? It's just like, you see, it's the two completely contrasting styles going against each other. Maru continuing along that upgrade path. Kira, slowly but surely, he is adding in more Ravens, so he's getting ready. He eventually will do a pretty heavy air switch.
I kind of like that idea by Maru at that top with those Marines over there. He kind of brought his whole army except for those back, thinking that Kira wouldn't possibly be going up there, but Kira did see it, so maybe he didn't see it, but he was planning to go here anyway, so he was able to catch those off without medevac support, so pretty decent catch there. Would have been cool if he, to see what Maru would have done otherwise, but...
and you know what, it goes along with that as well, I think, is you want to be spending Marines. Look at his bank right now. He's got over 3k minerals. Anywhere he can utilize Marines is fantastic. Oh my god.
Oh my god, a lot of disables going up on the tanks to the left. All of Maru's tanks are still left firing, but a lot of Marines are still breaking through. Will be able to kill off those tanks there, even though the other ones were completely disabled.
Yeah, I mean, Kira ends up destroying that army for the most part, but he actually got out with most of his Vikings and his Ravens. So Maru making the best of these bad situations still, getting quality trades.
Yeah, this little drop over here is doing a pretty good amount of damage, at least distracting Kira for the most part, while he then goes into the bottom himself. These couple tanks actually getting picked off is quite good for Maru. Oh no, there's SCV! He's getting a big chunk by that tank at the top, and a bunch of different secret missiles and different auto turrets getting placed down, and Kira is going to be able to then push this side as well. I mean, Kira's looking pretty strong in these trades overall.
Yeah, he is. I mean, you can see one or two trades not go Maru's way because of the type of army he has. He can gain that value back, but when Kira is killing off a couple bases, keeping his bases alive, and then forcing back Maru's army into his already turtled territory, that is Kira starting to take the lead.
Yeah. Although he's...
I don't know that he...
much lesser supply all of a sudden, but...
Yeah, he does have a lesser supply, but I'm not worried about his supply as much. What I am worried about is just Maru still has the higher quality army.
Yeah, that is true. Kira's going to be able to secure this base up at the top again since he does have general map control. We'll be going down to the bottom once more, seeing if he can finally pick off this actual base here. Turrets getting spammed down to be preventing whatever Maru has to try and defend, and yeah, this has got no hopes of staying alive. He's going to be able to kill that instantly. The medevac drop over to, he actually, I think he F2'd that back. All of a sudden, those Marines are not going to be trying to kill off that base, and Kira's going straight into the Nat and third base, trying to get a really good position here, and Maru seems like he's kind of scrambling to get his stuff all together here.
Yeah, I got to tell you what, I think that Kira is playing an awesome game here. It felt like Maru had the game where he wanted it, and for him to have the game in that type of position, for Kira to fight back and just start killing everything, is super impressive.
Yeah, and he's, again, we can see the massive disparity, this insane Viking cloud compared to literally no Vikings out of Kira. There's one, and just a couple more did just produce, but yeah, Maru is going to be keeping the air dominance here, but he has not been really getting the best ground level trades, as now these Marines are going into the side base once again, being able to kill off some of those, and then he's boosting on out nice and safely. So again, Kira's kind of, he's getting good leads, and now he's kind of trying to solidify it going on into the later stages.
And the way that he's hitting one side than the other side is really smart too, because the army of Maru has to move together. Right? He can't split it as easily as Kira can. Kira's has a lot of firepower, whereas Maru's is more about finesse. So we see Maru moving up with most of his army right now, hitting that kind of like third or fourth base area that has a lot of the command centers. Kira, once again, canceling another location here for Maru. Another place he can't mine from.
Maru does have this advantage of the Vikings, though, so he's actually able to still kill these orbitals as they're floating away, which is pretty nice. So he's actually going to kill two of them in the same time that that Kira killed one of his. He's even going to be able to siege this planetary at the top, so this is actually not too bad out of Maru whatsoever. Quite like this quite a lot, but Kira is starting to position his army to get a really nice big flank on this entrenched location. Let's see how this does play out. Lots of different Seekers going off all over the place. Curious coming in, gets a disable on one of the tanks, and is absolutely, completely disheveling Maru from this position. Excellent.
Yeah, it was a great bust, but you saw what Maru did during that. He targeted down like 5 or 6 Ravens. So now he has a massive Raven advantage. So, like, yeah, overall, like, he busted that. But as far as the very long-term units, Maru reduced what Kier has in that area.
He's maintaining his tech lead, doing a good job of that. Tank count is also still in his favor very heavily. Ooh, lots of different disables going off.
God.
This is going to be a huge position for him to jump on.
Huge
oh
moment.
My God.
Kills off so many tanks right there. And you can see
2
it's like
tanks.
I would love to just see the graphs about how much Kier has mined this game compared to Maru, because you know it's a lot more, but Maru is just it's like his economy is in the sky, right? That's what each one of these Ravens is a couple mules just mining consistently.
So much value being put down from every single one of these spells, and I mean, Kier is going to be getting his tank count back up. He's getting 2 at a time, of course, but getting put down to literally 2 tanks compared to 12 at that point was actually huge. These Marines are going to be able to kill another base. There's not enough here to... Oh, actually, yes, there is a lot here all of a sudden. All those Vikings just came out of nowhere, so the medevac will be able to boost away. There's no sensor tower down here, actually. It did die earlier, so now there's no information from Maru to say that this push is actually coming. So this also then has to lift and will definitely die, along with all the SCVs.
Yeah, loses quite a bit. Look at this disabling, moving up the ramp as well. Now, Maru's army can deal with this, so I think, yeah, Kier should be running away. And he does, but you know what? We just saw him kill 2 command centers and 31 SCVs. I mean, this is... These two are playing out of their mind. This is just such a wonderful series.
It's so hard to call this because, like, they're every single move that one makes, the other then just responds immediately. It's like you're trying to find a spot. Okay, this person has the lead. This person has the lead. They're so even every single time. Kier's coming in once again to try and get this forward PF, and he will do so. But Maru is kind of lurking, trying to find this army of Kier that's somehow evaded him and is now going to the bottom, and all of his tanks are getting completely surrounded. Somehow gets them out. I don't know how any of those didn't die. Lots of different anti-armor going down as well, and all of a sudden Maru is now completely wiping this army while the top army is still getting worked on as well.
Maru's not even really mining at this point. He's got 60 minerals. You know, definitely Kier not mining a whole lot himself. This is I'm getting chills right now.
Those SCVs just like walk through an entire army. Oh, so
well,
funny.
right now he's like, okay, it's actually time to draw your army together here, Kier, because we're getting to the point where both players have almost no economy. A little bit more for Kier, but the army is still better for Maru, so Kier needs to get his whole army together.
Oh my god, this army is going to get completely separated. He's going to at least be able to get a flank with his rest of reinforcements coming from the left, but is that really going to... Oh, he's bunching quite up here. This is not that great for him.
Oh my god, the spell's just being thrown out like crazy. The Ravens throwing down tons of auto turrets. Maru's stimming forward.
God.
He does disable all the tanks on the right, and he will clear Kier's entire army there.
Holy mo... He's got 13 SCVs. He has 13 SCVs in total. He's got like 1 orbital, 2 that is actually landed. An auto turret is killing off like 70% of Maru's economy, but he has so many tanks. He's got 8 tanks. Kier has no tanks. There's not a single tank. There's 6 Ravens to 2.
Yeah, how do you stand against that? How do you stand against it? It's 9 Vikings against 3, so you have no air dominance overall. But look at this. Kier is utilizing those units that won't be helpful against the main army. Down here, destroying the economy. 5 workers left for Maru.
He's got literally nothing. There's a single disable on the 1 tank. It's somehow not dead. There we go. Finally targets it. Down it goes. And now he's going to be able to go off into the main base as well, completely on top of all the production. There's a lot of Marines that are coming out, of course, from Kier, so he's going to be able to at least set up and surround the army potentially with this other stuff coming from the bottom. But this is just so many tanks. There's 8 tanks. There's still 6 Ravens that are, I'm pretty sure, full energy. He's going to go in for it.
Oh man, a lot of auto turrets coming down right here as he does flank. Let's see, can Maru end up holding on here?
Oh my
it
God,
looks like he will.
It's a wash. He completely destroys the army. There's absolutely nothing for Kier. GG is called. Maru evens the series in an insane way.
What a game. I got chills all over my body right now. And not because it's cold outside, even though it is. That was amazing. What a game from both sides. these two, like...
This is what I was talking about as well with that
Dude.
that Clem game. Very similar. Not not to the same extent, but the Maru's ability to always find a good position when it mattered, and to then keep his tank count, keep his Raven count, and he just pushes it, and he just gets a sick engage, and he can close the game.
Well, this really points towards like what you were saying right there. Okay, here's what's so beautiful about what we're watching here. The amount of self-expression that we see from these two players while they battle each other is immense, right? Like in any pursuit, right? There's this ability to express yourself and show the way that you see it and the way that you do it. And StarCraft is one of the biggest ones because there's so many different things going on at one time. Before the match, we talked about what you said, that the other previous match against Clem, we talked about their overall styles, the way that they like to play, how Kira's more aggressive, Maru's more comfortable in the late game, things like that. We saw all of that over and over and over. And it was like, whose truth is truer, right? Who can really show the inner beauty of their soul through a TVT to us right now? And it was amazing, right? This is why StarCraft is the best game in the world.
Preach it,
God.
Artie. Preach it.
And now I just fall over here and fly away. I don't even know. There's a mosh pit of ghosts. I'm just... God,
oh my God,
that game was just so good. It was just to watch the completely different styles in a mirror matchup, face against each other.
And it was after another game that was also basically the same thing, but the opposite style winning.
Yes.
So we now have seen both styles clash in 2 different games, with both of them winning one time.
It's a good series. It's a good series.
I like StarCraft.
It's all right. Those first 3 series, I was like, you know what, this game's dead.
Been building up. It's been building up.
Yeah.
We were pretty close. Just like, you know what, StarCraft, it's been a good run. 3 3-0s in a row, though. I don't know.
This could have been the best series of the night with just game 1.
Yeah. But now we got game 2.
Or if someone, got a red card and got DQ'd from one game and the other guy 3-0'd or something. But now we have something really nice here. These two doing battle for us. Oxide going to be the next map. It is all tied up. Anyone's series. They're looking evenly matched. Let's get into game number 3.
Game start. Team NV, Maru. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Cure.
Still no proxy Rex.
Yeah. I'm not too surprised. It's like Maru did go through such a... Remember back when he was a teenager and all he did was proxy racks? That phase
You mean
is
like
over.
2 years ago?
Yeah. Actually, exactly, yes. 2 years ago is when he proxy racked almost every game. And I think he was a teenager then as well.
Yeah.
So it works perfectly. But yeah, he doesn't do it as much anymore. I mean, people still have such a memory of it because it was just...
It was so prominent.
Much. Yeah, it was so prominent. But, obviously, like we were talking about, he's completely a full-range player. It was kind of funny, right? Because those first 3 GSLs that he won in a row were all based off of aggressive proxy play.
Yep.
Then the 4th one, he turtled and macroed and went mech and stuff. And it was like, oh my God, he's just better than everybody. Wow.
It's like MVP when he won his last GSL just by playing completely defensive. And then, the mass BC game, and then has the absolute balls to do a proxy 2 racks in the 7th game.
The guy was a god.
Absolute legend.
So, command center on the way. Oh, factory, okay. Cool. Has that double gas?
I feel like we just have to kind of wait.
Yeah, no, we do.
I really want to just see. Can we just fast forward? Can we just get to the mass tank, marine, raven out positions and stuff like that? That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Well, that last game was so good. That's the type of game that the duality of man is like. That last game is the type of game I want You know, like in the Matrix where they can just inject like kung fu into your head?
Yes.
I want that, but I also want the game to never end. So explain that to me. So I want it all at once, but I also never want it to end, right? It's like when you get like a really delicious piece of cake and you gobble it down, but also you want to savor it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the feeling. That's the feeling. So what do I do here? Do I revel in the early game slowness, or do I just want it all just shoved down my throat immediately?
I love it. That's an amazing sentence to just take out of context. You know, it isn't the Matrix when they can just, inject kung fu into your head.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's... I think about that sometimes. I'm like, whoa, just give it all to me. Like, when you start like a new series that's so good, you're like, I want to watch all of it.
Yes.
But I never want it to end.
Yep.
That's this series right now.
I feel that. I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
For sure. But we have to wait. We have to wait.
We get no choice, unfortunately.
Gosh,
we lowly
life is so
commentators.
cruel.
I know.
How dare we have to wait for 5 minutes of early game TVT nothingness? Oh my gosh. Wait, but Gemini, Artosis, they're doing slightly different builds than before. It's cool.
Yeah, it is. That is cool. All right, so Maru here, tank. Once again, is he gonna do that same type of attack?
He might. I mean, it's a good map for it, right? Because they've got the high ground spot on the main. This one's pretty abusable for that for sure. Kira seems like he's kind of ready for that.
Yeah,
kind of move,
really.
Right? He's got the tank already sitting there. He's like, yeah, I know you can do that for sure, but how about not?
Yeah, no, you'll smash it. It's the same exact attack as the previous game. We don't have like 8 Hellions out to flank the tank, I guess. So that's one thing, but yeah, that's pretty good placement, I would say.
I mean, there are only 2 Marines. The Raven is only just started.
I guess if you hop the Reapers up, they take the tank hit,
and then
you
you
drop
just drop
the tank
on top. That's what I'm looking at. Oh, or he's just gonna slow it. Oh, it's just barely out of range. Oh, that's really good for Maru.
That's
to
amazing.
Get that hit.
Amazing placement.
Oh, he just gets the tank. And yeah, all that's left are a couple Marines. There's a Viking. It's 23 army supply to 7.
Dude, this is...
What?
Wow, I guess he fell into Maru's trap of being ready for what Maru was going to do.
It's
like,
the Banshee.
I love it when they prepare for what I'm going to do.
It's the Banshees all over again. You think you have it scouted, you think you know what's going to happen, you're prepared, and then boom, bada bing, you lose the game. The Raven's out.
This is massive damage.
Oh my goodness. 12, 13 SCVs. He might even get another one. Gets the Marine there. Trying to get a couple more. Oh my god, what's he going to end at? 15, gets 2 more with that nice last Hellion splash damage. 17.
I can't even believe the damage.
Holy moly.
By the way, if he
gets out with the tank, the tank lives.
Yeah, of course it does. That's a killer. You know, if his tank is dropped a millimeter forward and Kira's tank gets the first volley, does he lose 17 SCVs?
No.
No,
he doesn't lose
not.
1. He doesn't lose 1.
I know. How crazy is that?
This would just be a totally normal... Oh, nice trade. Okay, very cool. Yeah. The opener didn't work.
Maru saw that tank siege. He's like, I love it when people are ready for what I'm going to do. Oh my god, that's when I really murder them.
Oh my god, you blind countered my build? Oh, perfect. Now you've sprung my trap.
Yeah. It's better to be completely unready, you fool.
I mean, yeah, Rogue.
Yeah.
Proxy 4X didn't scout it. Hello.
That's the Jin Air way. Okay, so Maru has his 3rd command, so does Cure.
Stim timing obviously is going to be way different from this opener. Cure is going to have it much faster, but again, he doesn't really have many Marines to do with that. He's only got a couple here, and the tank's going to get sieged out in the position on the behind the Nat. He's got 2 Ravens to 1.
Yeah, he has 2 Vikings on the way as well, so that might come into play. Let's see. Ooh. I actually wouldn't have minded a disabled type play here, but... Yeah. Okay, yeah, he goes up and disables Cure's tank. The second tank on the high ground going to help a bit, but oh my god, the SCV's getting absolutely mangled. 17 more SCVs dead?
God. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. The Raven actually got sniped from Cure as well. I think there was like a Cyclone lock on or something. I don't think, maybe I saw that wrong, but the Raven died quite quickly, was mid-spell, wasn't able to even cast I think the auto turret was trying to put down, so... Yeah, Maru is just absolutely taking control of this game and really pushing it hard into Cure. Cure does he even have a 3rd CC in process right now?
Yeah, no, he has it. It's in his main, like it's finished.
Oh, can't even
but
see it.
yeah, it's that big square in the bottom right.
Oh, nice.
No, but he's like basically dead.
Yo, repair.
I think he's just like
repair.
He's repairing with
one,
like two.
Oh, he's just going to lift and go. He's going to try to completely get rid of it. The tank gets focus fired. Oh, actually stays alive, but still, there's just so much here. He's going to lose absolutely everything. Maru, very decisive.
Whew. Mashed him that game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we kind of deserved it, right? We were pretty spoiled after those first two games. There's no way. Yeah. There's no way every game was going to look like that.
No, that's pretty impossible. You got to have a mashing here and there. Okay, Maru leads 2-1. That was a scary one. That was pretty one-sided. And that was like so unforgiving too, because Kira was basically ready for what Maru was doing, but didn't account for the fact that Maru is like the best ever. So, that one little siege tank move that he made just out of vision.
It's insane. Brutal. It's insane how close this game can be sometimes. Like literally a pixel of difference made that entire game. If he does not get that first shot, that does not snowball in that way whatsoever.
And Maru saw it and knew he could do that, is the thing, too. And he instantly did it, and he didn't screw up where he dropped the tank or anything.
Insane. Going on to set number 4 on Lightshade.
Game start. Team NV, Maru. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Cure.
All right. What's the best you got, Cure? Because it's
Give
time
me
to
a
use
proxy
it.
Durax, man. I want to see some fireworks.
None of that. Maru's going to save that for later in the tournament. He doesn't want to bring out all his builds right away.
Finals.
You know he's going to hit TY in the finals,
I was going to say finals is TY, and he breaks it out 3 games in a row. Yeah. He's playing the long con with this.
Might be. You know right now, TY is downstairs commentating this. He's watching.
I'm
he's
staring at him right now.
Yeah, no, he's thinking about it. He's like, okay, this is the guy I have to play in the finals. They know already.
It's like, that is such an interesting thing too, right? Like, the fact that you are commentating a tournament as the favorite to win the same tournament.
Yeah,
like that's just insane to me. Like, and like, you always hear that players will, of course, be doing VOD review and all that stuff to make sure they're prepared for their tournaments and for their players and stuff like that. But like, TY's literally doing it as it's happening. Yeah. I really just want to know like what he feels like to be doing this, right? It's such a unique thing to be both casting at his level and then literally just winning the same tournament that he's casting.
Here is my question for that. Does he let out 100% of his knowledge in the cast?
That's what I want to know,
because he's actually smarter than everyone. Just to put this out there, like I have always said for like the past 4 years at least that he's the smartest pro. And at least Special agrees with me. But I think a lot of people see it that way, that he just kind of gets it. He's the most experienced. In fact, he's been the pro gamer the longest, so it makes sense as well in his play style. But like, does he say everything he knows? Like, oh, this is how you beat that Terran thing.
And I want to know now. We know that players will watch other players' VODs to prepare. Do players watch TY's commentary to prepare for their own games against him?
Well, I would imagine that all the pros watch the games in GSL. So like, you're listening to TY anyways.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you'd watch it to prepare, but I think it could be useful if you can find that it reflects long-term how he plays. Like if he's actually, you could tell if you listen to all his commentary and watch all his games, you'd be like, oh yeah, this is lining up. Like when he says this, like, well, I know what he's going to use, basically. Yeah, it's possible. But then TY being so smart uses the mind game of saying things and then doing the opposite.
Sandbagging on purpose on cast, misleading all of his viewers. Like, oh, this is a great way to defend this thing. You should definitely do this in your games if you play versus it.
I never beat this.
This is my weakest strategy. All right, Reapers are going to come over here, try to deny that CC. Nicely done by Kira to deny it, though. You will be able to keep that alive and going quite normally.
Maru backing up. Everything seems fine. Throws down that Widow Mine, extra bit of protection.
Is he going to lift that up and drop it later, or is he just going to sit it there?
Oh, the mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you eventually do lift it up, but like, I always like a move like that, so if they do try to poke in, it's like great anti-cyclone and stuff too. It's like they have to sack a unit. That's it.
Ooh, we got Cloak coming out. Oh, it's a pretty big deviation from what we've been seeing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he just canceled it, but that was actually the mouse mousing away from it. I was like, wait, what? He didn't even scout it or anything.
Just thinks twice of it, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if this can actually do something. You know, I don't expect to see any damage nearly to what we've been spoiled to with, you know, with the Banshees today. So
yeah,
not looking for a 20 kill one like we did earlier, but it is a shift. It is a mix up compared to what we've seen the last couple games. So
well, almost especially against Maru though, I couldn't see it doing too much because this guy, like, he loves his Ravens.
Yeah.
Right. So he's already kind of tech heavy. He's already kind of sitting in his main. You're not likely to catch him with all of his units outside. So see, he's got a Raven on the way. The Raven's going to be popping out as the Banshee's over there cloaking, right?
Yeah, it should be timed out pretty well. If it's oh, he's going to even see it. That is unlucky for Cure. He's going to lose a Reaper.
Do you cancel cloak?
I'm not a Terran player, so I don't know, but maybe. That is the most uncommitted answer.
Yeah, I think you can keep it.
Yeah, I think keeping it's fine just because it's like.
Especially
I mean, what
if
are you
you're
gonna
planning on like
get?
mech or something. It's all right. He does complete.
I personally being like, you know, even though I'm not a Terran player, just like in general, like as a Protoss player as well, like whenever you commit to something, I feel like it's just worth it to commit to it anyway. Same to like the idea of just being decisive.
You never
like what can I
huh?
yeah, like what can I get with it? Like you know, there's always a possibility. Like here, oh wow, he actually almost lost it.
Wow.
That was pretty okay.
But you know what? Scans and gets 2 SCVs too.
Oh, he's gonna get the deny on the third CC for a little bit. That's always cute. Very nice.
Yeah, good scout. Gonna get out with 2 of them. Some
Forward
good
one.
harassment. Can't complain about this harassment from Kier.
But yeah, like it feels better to just do it to then try it anyway. It's like scouted DT drops in PvZ, right? It's like you know that they scout it, you know that they know it's coming, but it's still 3 or 4 invisible men. What is possible?
True.
There's a lot that's possible.
Yeah.
There's always something that's
always
possible
something
with
possible.
the invisible people.
Yeah,
so
you can't deny that.
It's the same idea, I feel, where especially, you know, it's cloak, it's same invisible, it's the invisible woman, the invisible flying woman. Surely she can get something done, right?
In an airplane. Well, moves that mine out forward quite a bit. Everything seems all right, right? Kira's up a few SCVs after that harassment. Looks like their upgrades are pretty well lined up.
Where is the next deviation going to come in? That's what I'm looking for.
I think it's probably just movement, right? Like Maru is more likely to do some like small harassment coming up, and then Kira, you know, generally will move out with his basically his whole army.
Oh, that missile turret is barely not in the right spot. Oh, never mind, I lied entirely. It barely gets a couple of shots, but then we'll still get through anyway. None of Maru's units are here to defend it, actually, so we'll be able to kill off a couple units here. Not too bad. The Ravens will come back and laugh at it as it runs away to the corner without, oh, actually disabling it. I wasn't expecting that, actually. That's kind of funny. But we'll dissuade it. Not really anything influential in terms of damage. Just a couple SCVs.
And the Cyclone's just going to keep that back there.
This is actually super annoying to just leave stuff there. I hate playing against this as a Protoss versus Terran when they just leave drop ships in the corner. It's actually so frustrating because you know that you kind of you're like, you know, oh, I've outplayed you. I've defended the drop. Oh, great.
Yes.
I'm doing better right now. And then they just sit it there, and so then you then have to you're then forced to, you know, always be thinking about it. And you sometimes even have to leave a lot of your army to defend against it. So it's like always something that you have to keep on the back of your mind, and it's like it's just really frustrating to always have to keep up with that. And luckily for Maru, he does have a Viking here, so that's going to be a very easy thing to clear up. So won't really be doing much for him. But you know, I'm sitting here, you know, crying my tears out when I'm playing ladder.
You know what? If enough of your Brotosses say that it's frustrating to play against, maybe they'll remove dead airspace behind mains, just like they removed observers speed.
That's a great point, Artosis. Yeah. You know what? Everyone, you know what to do. Make the Reddit thread. I'll be there in a few hours.
Right. I mean, Kier macroing pretty well. He's got a big chunk of army moving out right now, scanning ahead. Not really seeing a whole lot there. Oh, look at that scan from Maru. Catches the tail end of it. Beautiful.
God.
Beautiful. He knows.
Oh, man.
He knows what's up.
So good.
Reasonable siege there, I think.
Yeah, I like this siege position. It's going to allow him to then elevator into the left if he really wanted to, but doesn't want to, obviously. He's going to back up. There's a lot of tank positions out. Oh, actually, we'll get a... Nope. Oh, that's the worst. 2 health on it.
Ouch.
Really, it sucks when you're always trying to get that last tiny little bit of value. Like, oh, this didn't work, but let me just get this, and then it doesn't do that either, and you're like, oh, why do I try?
Kier continuing to maneuver around. Maru getting another command center down. Kier, of course, is as well at home. Both of them still pretty much tied in upgrades, adding their second factories at the same time. Everything is still really similar as far as like what they are making. But the difference you see is just kind of like how they're moving around the map, right? Kier is fielding a bit more of his army. Maru playing a bit more defensively here.
Maru's like significant or consistently had just like less army supply for the last couple minutes of this game, and I kind of missed why. Why does he's kind of just sitting at like 10 or so supply less this whole time, but otherwise it's completely even.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting, right?
But like nothing's really happened.
Well, it might have to do with just the light harassment that went down, right? Like you can suddenly, like a barracks is a little bit later or something because you lost those SCVs to the Banshee and the Reaper and stuff. It wasn't that big though, so yeah. Slightly different builds.
A lot of Liberators actually getting made out right now. See that? There's two in production. He's got the tanks coming too.
And look at this actually. Kier adding 2 starports before Maru. A little bit of a change.
Ooh, gets slapped with that anti-armor. We'll be able to get a couple SCVs on the retreat, but otherwise nothing really done. But yeah, the fast starports from Kier is definitely a big deviation comparatively for this series. So will he be able to then propel that to get the upper hand with the Raven count, with the Sky Terran, to then beat Maru at his own game, essentially?
I like that he's being proactive about this, right? Because that's the way that Maru has been playing so heavily, right? Like, Maru's sitting here right now on 2 Ravens and 6 Vikings. That's normally more than what Kier has in that department. But Kier right now, actually, he's up a single tank. That's not the big deal, though. Just the fact that he has more Vikings is something that's going to make a big difference in their engagements.
Almost getting a couple Vikings there. That would have been a pretty good catch, but Kier is going to be able to push this here. A lot of Maru's stuff is going to be coming from that top side, so he's going to have to rally through. Actually have to cancel the command center so that way he can get enough surface area to engage if it does happen to go to that length. So that's going to put him back behind just a little bit here. So that's already kind of a win for Kier. We'll see if he decides to keep pushing. He is going to move forward, maybe being even in range of that PF. He is, so that's going to be a nice foothold. Although Maru now is going onto the map to try and get a flank maneuver or counterattack.
Yeah, I think he's trying to counterattack, but Kier sees it. Oh, the sickest Arbor Strike going to get right on top of that. Maru, though, pulls back into some siege tanks he was sitting down as well.
What the?
Yeah, no, there were way too many siege tanks there. Oh my god, look at this Viking land plus stim forward. What a move from Kier. He's going to kill all the siege tanks.
Oh my god, what a swing. And now Maru, feeling that he's got nothing. Okay, and he is going to come back. He's splitting up his army. He actually is going in between the middle of the map, like back and forth. He doesn't seem to know what to do exactly. Coming back with his Marines, going to try to engage this tank count, but there's a lot of tanks, even some from behind as well, going to be able to lay down onto that. There's some Ravens here that will be able to disable these tanks from Kier, but I don't really think that Maru has much of a spot to continue with this counterattack.
Yeah, it does feel that way, but where are the rest of his tanks? There might be a way in for Maru to do a bit more damage. Now, Kier continuing to push up here. A lot of SCVs going down for Maru once again. This seems to happen during these base raids. So he's actually turned around with the rest of his army, which really makes me think Kier is going to be able to take this one home.
Yeah, he's killed 50 SCVs, 52 SCVs, and he's forcing Maru to retreat after Maru only killed a command center when there's 2 more that are already ready for Kier. This is
just not enough.
This
is just not enough.
Yeah, this is just a very, very clean mid-game out of Kier right here.
Yeah, Kier was just, he was so decisive with that nice attack on the planetary and then busting those tanks, and suddenly Maru without a leg left to stand on. Kier comes up with a flank as Maru's trying to break him and going to be able to cancel another base.
60 SCVs and counting. Kier is going to even the series. We finally have a best of 5.
I tell you what, the rest of the night totally worth getting right here, right now. This TVT series is just awesome. I loved Kier's move. I love that he leapfrogged ahead into the Sky Terran over Maru, which is something that hasn't happened this series yet, and just generally from their styles, like we mentioned, doesn't happen that often. But that was a great move. His siege up on the planetary, Maru was out of position for that. And the pouncing on the tanks as Maru was trying to counter. You put all this together, that's a victory for Kier. And well earned.
And we've been talking about decisiveness this entire time. That is what Kier just did. Maru, not decisive whatsoever, went back and forth multiple times with his army, did not know what he was trying to do, and it cost him hugely. Game number 5. on Pillars of Gold. Let's do it.
Game start.
Nice. Yes, I even was going to say it. I was like, now is the time.
It is the time, you're right.
Oh, yes, I'm excited.
It's so funny. It's like, yeah, it's like, Maru, it's 2-2 now. It looked like you were going to run away with the series, and so what should you do? He's like, oh, I got it, don't worry. I got this strat I've been saving. You're not going to believe it. I think we're going to believe it.
You'll never see this one coming.
Look at the look on his face. Oh, he's got side lips going on.
Get ready, Cure.
That is so funny. Just that look on his face. That's the... He's resigned. Whatever's going to happen here is going to happen.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
that's the look like, I don't know if I'm going to win Super Tournament or not. Oh, the double gas. So no command center.
It's going to be a faster factory, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Of course, the faster factory gives you those quick Hellions, which are very influential in trying to kill off those fast Reapers.
Yeah.
So Kira is already looking like he's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, and with the SCV scout coming across, it's going to give him some warning as well as to what's up. Oh, man.
Oh, Maru.
You're going to wait for both Reapers, right?
Yeah.
For the jump up. And he's going to get there and scout it before that pops in, just before.
So the question is, though, does it end up doing such minimal amount of damage that Cure is just unbelievably far ahead and can just kind of quickly snowball a win? Because there's plenty of times where you see a proxy and you see it get defended and you're like, okay, cool, the game's over, wonderful, this player has won. But then it kind of peters out for quite a while, and there's still a lot of opportunity for the proxying player to then pull back.
Yeah.
It's not as always as simple as it looks, right? There's still some other stuff afterwards. So that's what we want to see. So Kier obviously now knows what exactly he's playing against. He's got his SCV in the other side of the base. And so he's going to be able to defend now. He's got his factory still on the way. There's still going to be a little bit of room for him to get some damage done before that is finished. Cure already preparing with the SCVs pulled to try and get some extra DPS off. So we'll see what can actually happen here.
A bit of block in there as well. Look at that. He brings the SCV up from the other side, from the ramp, to try to get that little bit of extra damage and tanking. And he does. I mean, he gets a pick off already. Look at his SCV still left alive. A lot of SCVs pulled from Cure. I think he's doing a good job of handling this crisis. Oh, a good grenade goes down. Another Reaper pops up. The first Hellion's going to be coming out very soon here.
Yep, he's going to be able to get one more SCV. There are two more SCVs getting it with the grenade. They're pretty nice, but the Hellion is out now. He's going to have to be careful not to clump his Reapers up. Loses one on the retreat. Will be able to get out. Ooh, just barely does not get that one dead. Maru has been making SCVs this whole time, so he knows that he wasn't really trying to actually deal critical, game-ending damage with that. He realizes the situation, of course, knowing he got scouted, so he was not prepared to actually end it all with that.
Yeah, and by the way, just a little thing I noticed there. Maru started 2 more Reapers and canceled 1. So he has a very precise thing that he's looking to do here. Sending 1 Rax in. Of course, he has that command center on the way. The factory just finished up. And the command center starts in the main base here for Cure.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to get that outside with the Reapers, of course, although he does have 2 Hellions out. So just taking the safer route, doesn't want to risk it. Maru will have the slight edge in that regard, having it on location, but really minuscule. Although the more important thing is that he's actually maybe like 15 seconds ahead on that. So
yeah,
Maru ends up.
No,
actually gets that denied.
It worked for him. Look at that. He lands the barracks, which traps everything. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, Maru, you sexy dog.
MacGyver tearing over here.
Oh my goodness. Yo, what if he cancels that building? Oh my God, oh my God, he does.
Oh my God.
Maru,
I can't even believe what I'm seeing. This never happened before.
Maru, you are unbelievable at this video game.
He really is so good at this video game. His parents must be so proud.
I'm so glad that what you've decided to do from your birthright has actually been successful for you. Oh my goodness.
Oh man. I'm like just so impressed with Maru. Like, I mean, this has happened to me a lot of times in my life now. Maybe I should stop being so impressed, but just like every move he's made here, he really got the upper hand with this double proxy racks.
And it was completely scouted from the beginning. Well, not like, not the actual proxy itself, but it was, the most safest early scout possible.
Yeah.
Cure was already going for the 2 gas factory opener, so he had his best possible chance to defend it as he could. And Maru still is able to find those tiny windows, the tiniest windows, the landing of the barracks. Oh
that
my God.
was crazy. That was crazy. And look at this. He's up 5 SCVs. His starport's way quicker. He canceled the starport. Cure, for God's sake. He went factory first, and his starport is like finished way after Maru's. He's got a way later expansion. Who knew 2 racks Proxy Reaper is the best macro opener?
That's what they say about 12 pool now in ZVP too, right?
I know. God, Dark was right all along.
There will be a little bit of an opportunity here with Kira's slightly larger army size, as Maru, of course, had to put more resources into teching up after the Proxy 2 rack. So some things will be a little bit later in that regard, but he is getting Ravens out. He's got his second one already almost finished by the time this push will be here, which will give him, again, a lot of utility to defend this push. So are you really thinking this is going to do that much?
Oh, no. No? No, is that an okay answer?
I'll take that answer.
I'm not super
Artosis.
feeling it. I'm not super feeling it. Like, look at this. You can see
Oh,
Maru
even
set
ran
up very
into
differently.
it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, auto turret's coming down to help as well. Yeah.
Forcing the scan out to keep high ground vision. Oh, that Viking is.
Oh,
he gets the
my
tank.
God. Okay, well that was. Yeah.
Wow.
That's Maru for you right there. I like as well. You could see how he played. Kind of a similar position to how Kier played it. His 2 Reapers were on the very edge, giving just slightly more vision to him, which is something that, you know, obviously he abused, so he thinks, oh, this guy could abuse it too. This guy.
This
Kier.
guy. This
Whoever this ladder player that I'm against, I don't know.
It's a barcode. I don't know what the hell
who's
he's
this
doing.
barcode over here? Maru doesn't see faces, he sees barcodes.
I like the, he also, in the meantime of that push, by the way, there was a Liberator trying to go into the back from Kieran, and it was just completely negated by a patrolling Cyclone that was just sitting there. It wasn't even in the fight at all. It's still there. So even during that, Maru is defending the harass trying to happen at the same time.
That's kind of funny, because a lot of players will pull that over.
Yeah, exactly.
Immediately.
Yep.
But, and the thing is, he, like, kind of barely held it. If he had pulled over the Cyclone, it would have gone a little bit better, but then the Liberator gets its damage.
That's what that was.
I actually think it was. He's the best Terran in the world. Like, it makes sense. Yeah.
So he's obviously going to be in a way better position defending that off of the initial advantage he had from the 2 racks as well. Kira's going to be trying to deny this third base as much as possible. The disables go onto the tanks. The Raven gets immediately sniped off, and Maru's not even sieging his tanks. He's just walking forward trying to dislodge this. Although the tank is now going to be off of the disable, but not quite in time until the other tanks get on top of it. So this will get pushed off, and Maru is looking real good right now. The Liberator also dies to that turret. Maru is in an absolutely amazing position.
Yeah, he is dominating right now. This is looking so rough. Like, his upgrades are all way ahead. His economy is ahead by 10 SCVs right now. He's like double the army supply.
He's more handsome. Everything.
Oh
Everything's
God,
in his favor.
Everything. Suddenly he's taller than Cure. How did that happen in this game? That must have really hurt.
He's got his foot on his head in the middle of the match. Kira like looks up. He's like, "No, what's happening? I thought we were playing a TVT. What's going on?"
Yeah, unfortunately, that is what it looks like this time. Oh, Maru coming in, disabling both those tanks. The SCV's being pulled here, but that definitely won't be enough. The Vikings land and massacre the SCVs, and GG is called. Maru cleans it up. It was a great series, but I think for sure we saw the better TVT player win.
Yes, yeah. I agree.
But it was a great series, and Kira is an amazing TVT player. It's just, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, we had 2 really close games, and then like 3 games that weren't so close.
Yeah.
You know? 2 of which were Maru victories.
That is a good point as well. The demanding wins were the one that were the player that won, right? So,
well, yeah. Game 1 was kind of a good win for Kira too, though. So I don't want to take too much away. But yeah, no, that was a great TVT series. Definitely recommend that one to people.
Oh, yeah.
The other 3 series, take them or leave them, whatever. You have a player there you like, it's cool.
Yeah, if you need some builds to copy, if you need some good games to look at for studying, that's what those are basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
The 3-0s are going to be like that, but that TVT was definitely which game with the Death Aura, was that the one that was crazy, or Lightshade? Death Aura, I think, right? Game 2. Whatever game 2 was.
Yeah, no. It was Lightshade, wasn't it? No.
Stephor.
I don't know. I can't remember now.
Game number 2.
I don't know,
Game
man.
number 2 was the crazy one.
I just casted 14 games in a row. Leave me alone. I don't have any idea. Like, it was Port Alexander.
Anything.
It was Port Alexander.
Get your boats ready.
Get your boats ready. All right. Here's what happened. I can't even speak anymore.
Bracket.
God. All right. So next up, TY versus Dark, SOS versus Trap, Stats versus Innovation, and Rogue against Maru. Wow, these are some matches, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
These are some matches. Holy crap!
Wow.
What is this?
Dude, every single one of these games is potentially insane.
These are all like GSL finals level matches. Literally.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what I'm most looking forward to other than Trap.
Look at this. Okay, so we have 6 of these players are champions, and the other ones have gotten multiple runner-ups.
Yep.
Like, what the hell? This is like the most ridiculously stacked round of 8 ever, I think.
And then the matchups too. We have Rogue Maru, the X Gen Airs playing against each other. Stats Innovation, the 2 macro gods playing against each other. SOS Trap, the memester versus the wannabe most solid Protoss player. TY Dark, the smartest 2 of their race.
Yeah, no, it's quite a lineup of matches, which means we didn't have any upsets in this round. That's basically what that comes down to.
That is true.
Maybe SOS Zest is a slight upset. Who knows? But they're similar. Yeah, that was sick. Great night of StarCraft. Love that TVT. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And you were amazing.
Thank you so much.
How'd you like casting GSL?
It was absolutely wonderful. Hopefully it was enjoyable for you as well. But we are about done here. So we will see you all next time. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, night, wherever you are. We love you.